Yo, what's goody, guys? We back at it again with another Dokkan battle live stream today, baby. And I'm gonna be doing something a little different today. So it's not gonna be like really any gameplay, but I'm actually gonna be reacting today. So we're gonna be reacting to the first year of Dokkan. I know it's something a little different, you know. There's not really much to do right now, so I'm just trying to push out some new content any way possible. So for anybody who hasn't been playing Dokkan since the first year, there's this guy on YouTube. His name is Ploof, and he does like this series of videos, like just kind of like going over the history of like Dokkan up until, you know, modern day. So I'm also gonna link Ploof's video in the description, so you guys can go watch it, go check him out. You know what I'm saying? Go sub to the channel. Ploof pieced together a masterpiece of like Dokkan history. So you know what I'm saying? I gotta give him his props, guy. I gotta give Ploof his props. So I'm gonna be posting the video, and I'm gonna link his original video in the description. So without further ado, let's react to some Dokkan, baby. This is what. Woo! This is gonna be a first for me too, because I'm not really used to doing like reaction videos like this. So we're gonna be here for a while, guys. So let's just sit back for the ride. For anybody who's new, what's goody, Dame? We're just gonna be reacting to the first year of Dokkan. All right, so it's kind of low key gonna be like a movie night versus like reaction sort of thing. So yeah, without further ado, let's talk about it, baby. Let's talk about it. Let's get some reactions. Let's go. All right, I'm gonna start it over. Hey, yo, my Order King, thank you for the dono, gang. Appreciate that. Thank you. Did I see the new unit teaser? I think it was what? I'm thinking it's like Krillin or something. I don't know, but we'll see at like midnight or something like that. But yeah, without further ado, guys, let's get into the fucking video. Let's talk about it.
Have you ever wondered how a simple mobile game has been up and successful for nearly a decade, making about 16% of the generated revenue of one of the biggest IPs in the entire world? If so, you have come to the right place. Welcome to the channel. I'm the legendary Ploof, and this is the first episode of a very long series.
Like I said, guys, shout out Ploof for the video. All right, like I said, I'm gonna tag his original video in the description when it goes live. So shout out to Ploof, guys. Go check him out.
I'm going to take you through the entire history of the hit mobile game Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. We first heard of Dokkan in the November issue of V-Jump back in 2014. They gave us very little information about the game back then, but it didn't really matter because the game was officially released only 2 months later, exclusively in Japan. We had to wait about another 6 months for a global release of the game.
Guys, we're reacting to the first year of Dokkan. It's gonna be a reaction video, all right? We're reacting to the first year of Dokkan, and at some points I'm gonna throw in my little tidbits. So yeah, we're gonna be here for a while, guys. So get your popcorn. Let's enjoy the movie, all right?
The game first launched in January 2015. When the game was initially released, there wasn't any content outside of the quest mode. Literally, the main home button was just the quest mode. There was no Dokkan events, no story events, no growth stages, no Z battles. All you could do was the quest mode. That's actually such a crazy thing to think about, considering how far the game has come. Nonetheless, the game launched with 4 SSR characters who were featured in the first ever banner. Isn't it funny that the first 4 SSRs of this game are 2 Gokus and 2 Vegeta?
Bro, so I guess it's like the first ever summon banner was like a rare characters. Could you imagine, bro? Like when I first came into Dokkan, all I was used to was SSRs. That's all I was used to SSRs. But now you got rare characters. Like, could you imagine? Like, think about it. Could you actually imagine like summoning on characters and they're just all rare cards? Like, I don't know. I can. Whoa, bro. There's some wild times back then. What's up, John Tavius? What's goody?
Like, it's been set in stone since the very first day that this was going to be a Goku's and Vegeta's game. They were obviously the best cards in the game, with Tech Vegeta and Strength Goku being the best ones, but Strength Goku was unfeatured on the launch banner, so Tech Vegeta was seen by many as the best unit in the game at the time. The leader skill meta at the time was 3 types plus 30% attack, so super attacks were pretty rare.
Damn, bro, this was the leader skill? What is this video called? I remember playing before year 3 anniversary. So this is the YouTuber's name is Ploof, and he makes these like Dokkan history videos on YouTube. So we're just reacting to like the first year of Dokkan. I started during 6th anniversary, so it's cool to see exactly how Dokkan came to where it is. So yeah, bro, could you imagine this leader skill back in the day? AGL, Int, and Fizz type attack plus 30%. Bruh, that's not even like, bruh, that's no categories, no nothing. Damn. Okay.
13 to see back then. The SSR rates were also extremely low, something like 2% with no guaranteed SSR. The game was brutal. There was no Baba Shop, no Dokkan Awakening of any kind, no hidden potential system. You could only raise the SA of a card by feeding it to the exact same card, not a card of the same name. There was no Satan statues, so most people had like no Zenny, and the training system. Bro, you could only use 5 training items maximum at the same time. And everything was so slow that it took literally ages.
Whoa, bro. Let's look at that team, bro. Hold on, let's go back. Whoa. I gotta see this. Hold on.
Time. And everything was,
brother, that was a team back when Dokkan first started. That was a team. Could you believe that? And now some super attacks give better buffs than that. I'm saying, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, it's characters' passive skills give out 30% attack and defense. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That was leader skills? Oh my goodness. Hey, hello world, I'm watching a Dokkan history video. This is the first year of Dokkan, guys. The first year of Dokkan.
So slow that it took literally ages just to train a character.
Sit back for the ride, ladies and gents.
Sure that there was no time to speed back then, so you had to play the game on normal speed, and everything was just so slow. And if you're an OG, you probably remember that Zenny animation, and you couldn't even dodge it because you needed the Zenny, bro. You needed the Zenny. Anyways, 1 week and a half later, they released the first event into the game, the Epic Showdown event, where you could get a copy of an Goku. When he first released on JP, he didn't have a Dokkan Awakening. His Dokkan Awakening came a couple of months later, so we'll talk.
So apparently this was the first event in the game. I didn't know that. This was I remember getting this Goku. This was the first event in the game. That's crazy. You said I've been playing since before first Annie. I was like 9 years old. I started playing on the tail end of year 1, brother. Shit was slow AF and so difficult for no reason. Bro, could you imagine like I started during 6th anniversary. Bro, I remember the days before you even had like the auto clicker. So you had to do all that shit one by one, bro. That was brutal.
About that later into the video. Goku was actually not bad at the time. He had a decent leader skill for a fishplay character, a huge damage multiplier, and a 2% chance of getting a 100% attack. And even though super attacks were not a common thing at the time, just this proccing on a normal attack could save you in a fight, which is honestly a crazy thing to think about. 6 days later, the first story event came, where you could farm an Arcade Gohan. I know it's hard to believe, but this guy was very good at the time. He was farmable with an alright drop rate, by the standard of the time obviously. His super attack lowered defense, which was very useful back then, and his passive had a chance to raise all allies attack by 25%. A fully essayed level and Z awakened Arcade Gohan was actually a decent option back then. Just 1 day later, they released the second banner into the game featuring Int% Gohan and Physical Piccolo with 3 new SRs, SR Nappa, SR Yamcha, and SR Raditz. They both had decent passives and leader skills. Pretty much the only 2 things that mattered at the time. Well, actually the Metamorphosis and Namekian links were very OP back then because of that bug where you could proc them 3 times in the same turn. So you could easily heal up to 15% of your health every turn or 2. And this single-handedly gave more value to Physical Piccolo. You could link him with AGL Arnel, who debuffs strength types enemies, and you had like a very tanky rotation. But honestly, any other Nel would have worked at the time, even the one that has no passive. That's just how broken that bug was. On JP exclusively, they gave...
Bro, could you imagine a character having no passive? Like, bro, I kid you not, bro. Look at Nail with no passive. All bro does is just says causes huge damage, bro. Like, what the fuck? Just no passive skill. Can you believe that, dude? I think if a unit if a unit today dropped with no passive skill, I think for anybody who wasn't around back then, bro, these new gen players, their worlds would just shatter. Like, what? No passive. Dokkan's falling off. Bro, you say compared to the novels we have now, I'm saying, bro, we got legit like articles worth of passive skills, man. It's crazy to see how far this game has come.
one that has no passive. That's just how broken that bug was. On JP exclusively, they gave away a free SR Frieza via V-Jump codes or something like that. There's not much to say about this guy as of now, but I think it's funny that his passive is literally big bad bosses at Link level 1. Anyways, we also got our first ever strike event, SR Vegeta. He was like a very good unit. The problem with him is that the drop rates were pretty low unless you were like playing on the Z hard difficulty, which was not doable for a lot of people back then. But yeah, if we were able to farm him, this guy had a phenomenal leader skill for the time and a pretty decent passive. He was probably the second best SR in the game. Also, if you ever wondered what kind of card people were rerolling for back in the days, well, word got out pretty fast at the time that the best card to reroll for was actually SR First Form Frieza. He had a decent leader skill, 50% attack to all.
This fucking guy? This was the guy to have? Bruh, you know how many copies I've thrown into the fucking the shop or the shop point fodder? Bruh, I pulled so many copies of these. Anytime I get a copy of this guy, he always goes into the coin shop fodder where I just exchange it for like Zinni or something. Bro, crazy. Wow, okay. That's crazy.
Types, his super attack effect lowered the enemy's attack, and his passive gave him an unconditional 1500 attack, which was something at the time. He also had,
like, nowadays, this is the character that you just overlook. Like when you're going through your summons, you're like, see this SR Frieza, you're not even thinking anything of it. But back then, bro, he was the guy. He was the guy. Okay.
The Metamorphosis link, so you could link him up.
Said he got an easy A? No, we're just reacting to the first year of Dokkan.
With any Zarbon card, and just like Piccolo and Nail, heal up to 15% HP in a single turn. Before the end of February, they dropped another banner featuring Final Form Frieza and Xeno Trunks to promote the new Dragon Ball Xenoverse game. Frieza was an absolute monster. He was the first card in the game to have a supreme SA multiplier. Coupled with his 145% key multiplier and 30% start of turn attack buff, this guy was easily the hardest hidden card in the game, taking the throne out of strength for Goku. Honestly, it's actually crazy to think that at one point in time, Frieza was actually the best unit in the game. Like, bro, that's crazy. He had the best SSR and the best SR.
Wow, so at one point, Frieza was actually the best. You know, Goku being the golden child of Dragon Ball, who would have thought Frieza was actually the #1 character? You say, I remember the first SSR banner. What? The first SSR? I rerolled during Inch Patara Annie and got like 4 of them, 3 in singles back to back and stayed with it. I remember the first Annie. First year Dokkan is basically Dokkan if it was still in beta, no good units aside for one character. Hey, yo, Alex, we're just reacting to the first year of Dokkan. Just reacting to the first year of Dokkan. You say AGL Frieza used to be #1 on his release. Oh, AGL Namek Frieza?
Like, think about it, bro. Think about it. While also having the best banner the game has known so far. It was the first banner to give you a guaranteed SR per multi-summon. Because yes, SRs at the time were pretty valuable. On the other hand, Xenotrunk was not that great. Like, he was simply a worse version of the physical Piccolo that dropped earlier that month since he didn't have the Namekian link. March started with a new story event where you could obtain 6 copies of an R Vegeta and R Nappa. Yes, they weren't farmable at the time. You could only obtain 1 copy per difficulty cleared. Once only, meaning only 6 Vegetas and 6 Nappas. But even though they could only reach up to SA 6, they were still very useful cards for newer players. Nappa was an in-type supporting unit and Vegeta had a rare chance of dealing some decent damage. A week later, we received a new strike event featuring Cyborg Tao. His leader skill provided 3 key to all strength type units, which was a pretty good leader skill at the time. He could also stun, something that was very valuable at the time.
So something I'm kind of noticing is that a lot of these older, a lot of these older arts actually have like a lot of like flavor to them. You know what I mean? Like when you look at some arts nowadays, you just think like, you know, they're good, but like, you know, compared to like the older times, kind of regular. But I've noticed a lot of these old like card arts, they have like a lot of like life and flavor to them. Like I kind of wish Dokkan would kind of go back to like this kind of art style. You know what I mean? Like it just gives like a little bit of a nostalgia feeling, you know? I don't know. That's just me though. Like some of these arts actually have like some swagger to them. Stamina was too low. The unbeatable Broly event, unless you had the new units or Goldo. I heard about those days. I heard about them. I wasn't there. I wasn't there, but I heard about them. Woo! What a nice time to be in the trenches, huh?
time since most enemies were not protected from debuffs. Additionally, he had a rare chance of increasing his attack by 50%. Being fully farmable made him a pretty decent option for most players. 4 days later, another strike event was added, featuring Jackie Chun as the highlighted character. His leader skill provided tricky to all tech type units, essentially establishing a standard leader skill formula for all strike units. Additionally, his passive skill increased tech type allies attack by 10%, which was highly valuable since the most powerful unit at the time was a tech type unit. Concurrently, a new banner was released featuring Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan Bardock, the most anticipated banners to date. Bardock significantly altered the meta with his new leader skill offering 25% attack to all types and supporting the entire rotation for an additional 15% attack. He was seen by many as the best leader and best unit in the game at the time. Super Saiyan 2 Goku, though not surprising Frieza in damage, had a passive skill that provided him with 3Q when his HP was 99% or below, enabling him to super consistently. They both linked well together, forming one of the game's top rotations. Their banner also featured 4 new Team Bardock members.
Bro, does anybody in here remember this banner? Does anybody in here remember this banner? Because, I mean, apparently this was like one of the best rotations in the game at that time. Was this really one of the best banners? Super Saiyan Bardock and Super Saiyan Goku? You said barely? Barely!
In one of the game's top rotations. Their banner also featured 4 new Team Bardock members. None of them were really special or anything like that, but if you're an OG, you probably remember all those memes about Shugesh. And well, they all came from this banner. Apparently, Shugesh was so common that people started copying around memeing about the fact that this guy was the best unit in the game, which is understandable, I guess. Imagine spending your hard-earned stone into a banner with no guaranteed SSR and horrible rates just to pull Shugesh for like the 10th time. I would go crazy too.
Yeah, man. Imagine nowadays, no guaranteed SSRs, dude. I'd probably shit my pants, bro. You know how scary that is. Like, and the thing is, about like when there's a character you really, really want, like, I don't know. Let's just say LR Kid Buu, right, comes into the game, bro. Could you imagine like no guaranteed SSR or no guaranteed featured SSRs, brother? That'd be some scary times. That'd be some scary times, bro. They had GSSRs as special event banners. Damn, so that wasn't even the norm. It's just like guaranteed R. At least one guaranteed SR. Oh my goodness, bro. What the fuck? Bro, what?
A couple of days
okay.
later, they released another story event bringing an Arab Bardock and 3 new free-to-play SRs. But man, were the drop rates horrendous. You had to do like 50 runs just for one copy of SR Kid Vegeta. And he wasn't even that great, that's the worst part. So yeah, they just weren't worth the grind at the time, unless you really liked one of those characters. Luckily, we had a new strike event with a wicked bloodline character that was fairly easily farmable, Int Mecha Frieza. Like every strike unit, his leader skill gave 3 kits to Int type units. As for his kit, his super attack lowered attack, which was a very valuable thing at the time, and his passive skill gave him 32% attack when his key was 7 or more, which was something that you could get pretty consistently under his leader skill. So yeah, all around a pretty good unit. At the end of the month, we received another highly anticipated banner featuring Int Perfect Cell and Strength for Saint Teen Gohan. Both were exceptional units with unconditional stat buffs as their passives, and Int Perfect Cell shared the same leader skill as Strength Bardock. They also both had supreme super attack multipliers, which were the highest super attack multipliers.
So a little quick fun fact, in 2015, bro, I was a junior in high school. When this shit like really started like coming out. So I wasn't privy to it, but I was a junior in 2015. So I'm 27 right now. So that was some years ago. But yeah, I was a junior in high school when this came out.
Available at the time. Consequently, they became the new hardest hidden units alongside Tech Frieza. The 3 SRs that came with them were also quite impressive for SR standards. Android 18 could lower defense and had an unconditional start of turn attack buff. Second form Cell healed for 20% of the damage he dealt when his key was 6 or more, which was considered valuable at the time. And Android 17, even though not as good as the other.
And bro, like another crazy thing is that a lot of these characters that I see in my summons, bro, I'll skip over them like it's the fucking gum on the bottom of my shoe. You know what I mean? Like I see these SRs, I'm like, all right, bro, I'm selling all these to make way for the better ones. But these guys, they were the cream of the crop back in the day. They were a lot of these fodder ass characters nowadays. They were the cream of the crop. That's actually crazy to think, bro. I gotta remember where I came from, bro. I gotta remember the OGs.
Other ones had a decent flat stat buff when above 50% HP. If you were a well or just a very lucky player at the time, you could finally assemble.
Hey, Rondo, thank you for that follow, gang. I appreciate that follow. Thank you. I appreciate that, gang. Thank you. Thank you.
A coherent and strong team of SSR characters. You could just run Strength Bardock as your leader, with your rotation consisting of Strength Super Saiyan Bardock and Angel Super Saiyan Goku, as well as Strength Super Saiyan Gohan and In Super Saiyan Gohan. The team.
Hey, Just One, thank you for that follow, gang. Appreciate it. Thank you for that follow. Thank you.
Revolved around two links, Super Saiyan and Saiyan Warrior Race. You could have those two links active at all time with his team, which was a rarity at the time. However, as mentioned, you needed to be either a well or an exceptionally fortunate lucky player. Additionally, they also dropped like a Ginyu Force banner featuring existing Ginyu Force SRs. They all shared the Ginyu Force link, which was a very strong link at the time, like giving you 25% attack. And yeah, the banner was pretty good if you were a new player, since you could like build a pretty decent team, like a free-to-play team with...
Bro, what the fuck? A full SR Ginyu Force team? Wow. I never would have thought, bro. If somebody would have showed me this when I first started playing, and they're like, bro, this used to be like the best team or one of the best teams in the game, I would have been like, oh damn, bro, like there's no way. Like a team full of SRs, and then you have the one SSR. I wonder what the HP was looking like back in the day. I want to know what the HP was looking like back in the day, because it couldn't have been anything crazy. Hey, yo, the real DB King, what's goody, gang? What's goody? I'm just reacting to the first year of Dokkan.
Like those SR Ginyu Force units, though it wasn't like comparable to anything that was meta.
40,000? 40,000? Holy, bro, 40,000? That's how much some units are taking on a normal. 40,000? Oh my gosh, dude. 40,000? Yo, yeah, man. This is in the trenches, man. 40. It's also crazy how far we've come too. 40,000 HP, bro. We're hitting in the millions, like on a real like solid meta team. We're hitting like 1 million HP, bro. Crazy how much or how far Dokkan's come, bro. That's crazy. Quite literally super battle road normal damage. I'm saying, bro, like this is ridiculous. Think about it, but a unit. So think about like a pretty like shit category, like what's a shit category? I don't know, storied figures, right? That's a pretty that's a booty category, bro. I'm pretty sure a character in a storied figures super battle road is taking this much on a normal 40k, easily 40k. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, if you're a free-to-play player and you needed like a decent team, this was honestly not that bad of an option. The month of April started with a new strike event featuring King Cold. His leader skill gave 3 key to physical type units. He lowered attack on super attack and had an additional attack debuff in his passive. So yeah, he was a decent utility unit to have. And also the first strike unit to be physical. So now we had a strike unit of every type. 2 weeks later, they had a whole celebration to celebrate the release of the Resurrection F movie. There was a new event where you could get some new free-to-play units related to the movie. There was a police officer Krillin card, an SR Jacko, and an SR final form Frieza. They were not anything special, as you probably guessed it, but it was still a pretty cool thing to have like police officer Krillin in game. And I'll also be pointing out the fact that in Jacko had a 7% chance to stun all.
Bro, so you want to know what's crazy? I was good, you guys. The crazy thing is, bro, in the Defenders of Justice, it might have been like the Super Battle Road or Extreme Super Battle Road Defenders of Justice. Bro, I had to use this guy for the stuns. I had to use an SR Jocko for the stuns, bro. I think it was Defenders of Justice Extreme Super Battle Road. That's how bad that category is, bro. That's how bad I had to use an SR Jocko. That's crazy. So you know how we got like the most recent, or not recent, but the Jocko that came with the it was a banner unit Jocko that came with the int ROF blues when they first dropped, and then I have this Jocko as well, bro. That's fucking insane, dude. That's insanity, man.
I'm new, bro. I'm new to this.
You know what I mean, bro? Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, who would have thought, bro, a character of this caliber from 2015 would have helped me out literally almost a decade later. Crazy work, man. I got to drop another one, bro.
I'm new, bro. I'm new to this.
I'm new, bro.
All enemies. Like, sure, it was a rare thing, but a very powerful ability if you were lucky. Obviously, they also had to cash out on the hype of the movie and make some money, you know. So they dropped a new banner featuring AGL Blue Goku and Int Golden Frieza. AGL Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Goku was now officially the new hardest hitting unit in the game, and by far. He was the first unit to have both a supremacy multiplier and a higher attack buff in his passive skill. The only problem is that he struggled with Ki, but if you managed to super attack with him, he did an insane amount of damage. He was on top of every Japanese tier list at the time. As for Int Golden Frieza, he was very good, just not as good as Blue Goku. They also dropped probably the two rarest card in game right now. Two Gokus that you could pretty much only obtain at the time via some V-Jump.
Do any of you guys have any of these cards? Does anybody here have any of those cards? Because he said that they're the most rarest cards in the game. One of the most rarest cards. Does anybody have either of these cards? I sure don't. I don't. Oh, bro, so you need the One Piece characters? Oh, bro, I love me some One Piece, man. I'm like the #1 One Piece fan, dude. Self-proclaimed biggest One Piece fan.
Of magazine codes, they weren't good by any means, just some cool trophy cards. But you're probably wondering where the hell is Blue Vegeta? And well, they dropped him in a separate banner at the end.
Hey, yo, arise. What's goody, gang? What's goody? The Int R Blue Goku's rare? I did hear something about that. I seen some I did like a, what was it? I did a I did like a box rating for a lot of the players, and some people had some cards I never even knew existed. It's crazy, man. Some people have some stacked boxes. Not me, though.
End of the month. He was legit just AGL Blue Goku, but with a worse super attack multiplier. Like the first ever Vegeta shaft. And bro, as you know, it only got worse from that point on. The month of May started with two new banners, one featuring AGL Kaioken Goku and one featuring Physical Fat Boo. AGL Kaioken Goku was a phenomenal unit at the time. Like, he wasn't the best because of Super Saiyan Bardock, but he was now the hardest hidden unit in the game if you were able to super consistently with him, which wasn't as hard since he had two very good key links. And for some of you guys who weren't playing before the link level update, key links back then had the ability to be activated twice, meaning that if you had this guy in the middle and that both his partners shared, for example, the Shokin Speed link with him, you would get 4 key instead of 2. As for Physical Fat Boo, well, I couldn't find much information about how good he was at the time, but I would assume that he was pretty decent with his leader skill and healing passive that could proc every single time.
You said, I watched this before. This allowed me to set up my box based on years I had one link named year 1 through 4 and so on. Sometimes grind the game with units for fun. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, I just immediately just trash them as soon as I get them because like they don't serve me any purpose. But I know they were like the pinnacle of Dokkan, like I guess in their prime, 2015.
You're below 30% HP. He was also the last of the 3 main villains of Dragon Ball Z to get a card in game. Just like how Kid Buu is now the only main Dragon Ball Z villain who doesn't have an LR. I'm telling you, their intentions were set in stone from the very beginning. 3 days later, they released another Resurrection F movie event that came with a bunch of new awakenings. I think you were pretty much able to awaken every single SR Frieza that was available in the game and that they didn't already have a Dokkan awakening into Golden Frieza. They all did different things. The 2 AGL Golden Friezas lowered the enemy attack. The Tech Golden Frieza was a strength and tech type key support unit. The 2 Int Golden Friezas were damage dealers, with one of them being an Int type key +3 leader, and the Strength Golden Friezas were enemy debuffers. Oh, and yeah, the former hardest hitting unit in the game got his Dokkan awakening from this event too, but he didn't get much, just like a little bit of stats and a 10% attack buff in his.
So I'm guessing this Frieza might have been like one of the first like free-to-play teams that you grinded out, I guess. I think the Golden Frieza army might have been like one of the first free-to-play teams in the game. Now that I'm really thinking about it. I'm a year 11 player, but the quality of life improvement from year 1 to now is a huge difference. Oh, trust me, I know. I know. Dokkan's made leaps and bounds like since they first came out. Like it's been like. It gets better and better every year, man. It's crazy. For a mobile game at that, it's a mobile game.
passive, but it was enough since he was still decent before his awakening. Like, let's not forget that this guy was still the hardest hidden unit like just 2 months ago. A week later, we got another banner that introduced Whis into the game. He was a support type unit and could lower attack on super. This guy could have been a phenomenal support on release if he was a Saiyan unit, but since he pretty much linked with nobody, he just didn't really fit on any team, unfortunately. We also got our first version of Beerus as an SR in the same banner, and damn, for an SR that guy was pretty good. He had a tech type 40% attack leader skill and a 25% start of turn attack buff. Nothing to laugh at. But like Whis, he couldn't really shine because of his link stat, and I guess SR stats. 5 days later, we got another banner, this time bringing future Trunks into the game. The unfortunate thing is that this guy was legit just a reskin of Super Saiyan Gohan, but with I guess just better links for the time. So yeah, not very good, a waste of a card, especially for a faint.
You said, well, what do I think of the alternate art situation? I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to the alternate arts, I'm not really the biggest fan. You know, like that just could have been like a toggle on and off sticker. So, you know, like in for Dokkan Frontiers, you know how you're able to toggle on and off the different like effects? It could have easily just been that, but I mean, Dokkan, they got to test the waters and see how far they can get away with certain things. Although I do like how you're able to get a free copy of whatever character you chose. But it's like, bro, so when it comes to God Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku, I've already rainbowed both of them. So why would I summon for an entirely same character just with a different alternate art? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's like a waste of stones. Like, I get the format of the banners like set up to where it's easy for you to kind of pull them, but it just doesn't make any sense for me, to be honest. I think it's kind of scummy. In my humble opinion, but you know, who gives a fuck about what I think, you know? If you like it, you like it. Oh well.
Favorite like future Trunks. In the following weeks, we got 2 new strike characters, King Vegeta and Piccolo Jr. They honestly both weren't that great. King Vegeta gained 3k when HP was 50% or below, and Piccolo had a 4% chance to stun all enemies, which was great if you were lucky, but not very reliable. The month ended with a new banner featuring Tech Majin Vegeta and Strength Evil Boo. Majin Vegeta was honestly pretty underwhelming. His leader skill was subpar, he didn't have a supreme damage multiplier, and his start of turn attack buff was pretty low. But he was Majin Vegeta after all, you know, he was like hype, very hype. And he also was a Saiyan, meaning that he had a decent link set. And he could link pretty well with AGL Kaioken Goku, the new hardest hidden unit in the game. So he wasn't completely worthless. People just wish that, you know, they did more with him.
You said, I just hope they don't put both on the same banner on a new banner. Well, I think that, so people are speculating that they're going to be doing that. But for all we know, it's just been a one-time thing. So I don't know if that's the way Dokkan's going to go with it. I hope not. But we'll see. The next time they drop alternates, we'll see. We'll see. I just don't like that I can't use copies like how the Goku Black clones do. Yeah, they said, nah, you gonna summon for this new copy and you gonna summon for all these fucking dupes. you guys aren't gonna pull the same characters. No, you're gonna use these dupes for these characters, and you know what? You're gonna fucking like it. That's what Dokkan's saying. Crazy work, crazy.
Like a very anticipated unit at the time. As for Strength Evil Boo, yeah, he was bad. Like, like he was bad. Subpar leader skill and not that great of a passive. Really, the only thing he had going for him was being Physical Boo best linking partner. But Physical Boo was not something crazy either. So as you guessed it, yeah, just the Boo units just kept taking L's after L's. And you'll see in the following months because it didn't get any better. The month of June started with another strike event, this time featuring SR Mighty Mask. He was a decent strike card that greatly lowered defense, and his passive provided a 30% attack buff when facing multiple enemies. The next day they dropped a filler banner featuring AGL Kaioken Goku, Tech Final Form Frieza, and Strength Super Saiyan Bardock. This banner had so much value since those 3 guys were each the best at something. AGL Kaioken Goku was the hardest hidden super class unit, Tech Final Form Frieza was the hardest hidden extreme class unit, and Strength Super Saiyan Bardock was the best leader and versatile unit. Bro, just look at that video. Japanese players were sounding like crazy on that banner. But what they didn't know at the time is that this banner was a big bait, because the actual first banner of the month came 4 days later. That banner brought a new Tech Super Saiyan 2 Goku and a new Strength Super Saiyan Trunks. Tech Super Saiyan 2 Goku was very good at the time. He had a decent link set, a Supreme SA multiplier, and he supported Tech and Strength type allies for 2 key. But he shared the same name as AGL Super Saiyan 2 Goku, who was still a decent card. So you had to choose between one of them. And since they both did different things, one being utility and the other damage, it wasn't actually that bad of a thing.
Hey yo, Joseph, what's goody, gang? What's goody?
Since you could choose what you wanted depending on your current needs. But I'm not gonna lie, it probably would have been great if you had the ability to use both of them in the same team. As for Strength Super Trunks, he was nothing special really. Like, he had a very good passive, but the extreme damage multiplier really held him back. If you were a damage dealer unit, you needed to have a supreme damage multiplier, so he didn't hit as hard as people expected him to. But the thing is, people still summoned like crazy for him for one simple reason. Can you guess it? Like, doesn't he remind you of someone? Well, yes, he was the closest thing to a playable Broly. Like, look at his card. This is literally just Broly. And if you were just a Dragon Ball fan in general at the time, Broly was like one of the hypest character at the time. Like, he still is to this day, but I don't know. I just feel like he was more hype back then. Nonetheless, 4 days later, we got a new Bojack movie banner introducing AGL Super Saiyan 2 Gohan into the game, as well as Bojack and his goons. He basically was just the age.
So what I'm getting from this for the most part is that Dokkan kind of like, they weren't really scared to like drop like certain characters, you know, like they were just dropping damn near anything and everything. Like, you know, nowadays, like we gotta beg for like a new Bojack. We're begging for LR Kid Buu. Like, the community is on their hands and knees. Like, please Dokkan, give us the Kid Buu LR, please. But they're dropping like random ass characters, bro, which I mean, I think it's good, you know, that every character needs some kind of representation, but they're just dropping anything under the sun.
GL variant of the Tech Super Saiyan 2 Goku, and since he shared the same name as Strength Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, it was pretty much the exact same thing as the Super Saiyan 2 Gokus. If you wanted damage, you went with Strength Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and if you wanted more ki, you went with AGL Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So yeah, overall a pretty good card. As for Strength Full Power Bojack, well, he had an amazing leader skill, 50% attack to Strength type units, and an insane passive, 75% attack when performing a super attack. But like Whis and Beerus, what killed this guy were his links and extreme damage multiplier. Also, he awakened from an SR Bojack in the banner, which was actually a good thing, because it meant that you had a higher chance of pulling multiple copies of this guy and having him with multiple SA levels. But at the same time, since he awakened from medals from the new story event, it meant that if you didn't awaken him in time, you would have to wait a very long time before being able to farm his medals again. Like, there was no keys or portal of memories like back then. There was nothing like that.
So I'm guessing if there was no keys or any portal memory back then, I guess you could kind of say this was like limited time content in a sense, right? I guess you could say this was kind of like limited time content unintentionally, you know? Because if you didn't have the keys, I mean, they didn't have keys back then, I'm assuming, and then they didn't have the portals of memory. So if you didn't do this shit when it came out, it was done diddly dooski, you know? So yeah, I guess you could say this was I guess Dokkan's always had limited time content, I guess. Hey yo, C4, what's goody? Playing Dokkan with no portals of memories, there was times where you waited months. Aw, damn, I couldn't do it.
And if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure that no story event came back yet. So people weren't even sure that story event would eventually come back. But yeah, the new story event also brought a new SR Super Saiyan Gohan. This guy was great for a future play card. He was cool, he greatly lowered defense on Super, had a decent passive, and just an all-around great link set for the time. Golden Warrior, Saiyan Warriors, and Super Saiyan. All pretty common links at the time. Unless you had in Super Saiyan Gohan with some dupes, you were just better off with this guy. Also, I'm not sure if this is true, but apparently there was a bug at the time where you could run Dokkan Awakened and Un-Dokkan Awakened cards that share the same name together. So you could actually run him with in Super Saiyan Gohan. So really there was no reason to not farm him at the time. JP also got a new V-Jump exclusive card that being an SR Goku from his fight against Birder and Jace, I think. He was an alright card, I guess, if you were a new player and had no other options. Before the next big banner, they dropped a filler banner introducing Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta into the game. game. Well, non-Majin Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. And well, he was not great. Like, not great at all, which was understandable for a filler banner. His leader skill was subpar, he had an extreme damage multiplier, and his passive skill was alright, I guess. But don't worry, because this guy actually became insane like 4 years later with his easy. So the next big banner at the end of the month introduced Super Saiyan 2 Goku.
Oh, here's his big boy.
Strength Super Saiyan 3 Goku, as expected, was
Big boy Super Saiyan 3 Goku, baby.
He shared the same type and leader skill as Strength Super Saiyan Bardock, had a supreme damage multiplier, and a 70% attack buff as his passive, and a very good link set for the time. This guy was pretty much just a direct upgrade from Super Saiyan Bardock, who was seen by many as the best unit in the game at the time. Like, sure, Bardock could support, but what was the point of that if you could just do a lot more damage with a single card, like Super Saiyan 3 Goku? Who cares about what the other cards in rotation are doing, like, bro? As for Tech Super Buu, well, he wasn't Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but he was actually not bad. He had a great leader.
Hey yo, Almighty Foxy, what's goody? What's goody? What's goody? You said, hold on, wait. You said the biggest thing is the drop rates, no boosts or anything. Ah, damn, dude. I couldn't imagine, man. And so when it comes to like the drop rates and stuff, having like a high power level makes it a lot easier because you have like a kind of like a slight boost in your ability to get like increased drop rates. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, Dokkan, they kind of made it, they kind of gave you a way to like, you know what I'm saying, help yourself out if you don't want to use any of your like, I guess, daily boosts. Hey, yo, Almighty Foxy, I'm doing good, gang. Just, we're reacting to the first year of Dokkan. Reacting to the first year of Dokkan. It's, wow, dude, it seems like, dude, this game was in the trenches back then, dude. Holy guacamole, this is crazy.
Skill and could stun with super attack. But what really made this guy stand out is that he had a better version of SR Strength Cell passive, where he could heal for 25% of the damage he did. It wasn't game breaking or anything by any means, since he still didn't link with anyone except the 2 other Buu units we had in game, but with them you could cook a pretty fun team with tons of healing. The celebration also introduced
Hey yo, JL Reviews, thank you for that follow, gang. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hey yo, M, what's goody, gang? What's goody?
a new strike unit. Well, Paikuhan, or however you spell it. Like, he was an alright floater because of his support, but that's pretty much it. He had like no spray attack effect and his link set was complete garbage. Also, it's very hard to pinpoint where this happened, but I think it's around this time that Dokkan had an update that allowed same name characters to raise the spray attack of other cards, which was game changing at the time. The month of July started with the introduction of the worst event this game has known.
Here we are!
Ever World Tournament. The first
Oh my gosh, the first ever World Tournament? Holy shit!
Are like two whole different stories. However, since I'm focusing on the GP timeline in the series, I'm going to talk about the actual first ever World Tournament on the JP version of the game. It introduced 3 new characters and 4 new Dokkan Awakenings. Text percent Goku was just Strength percent Bardock but with a worse leader skill. Agile Roshi and Int End of Goku had some use because of their key support, but the other units just weren't worth the grind, honestly. Well, if you want to get technical about it, no unit was actually worth the grind because honestly, in my opinion,
damn,
the
bro,
first World Tournament was probably the worst possible way to waste your time. Like, there's legit no word to just describe how bad this event was at the time. Like, there were no AoE units at all in the game, which alone should tell you how bad that event was. Just imagine beating a World Tournament without any AoE units, like not even a single AoE unit, and that's not even the worst of it.
Bruh, no AoE characters? Are you kidding me? No AoE characters. I'm not gonna lie, gang. Like, okay, so even with all the characters we have now, I was like, I'm an avid user of Int Mod Jr. Even when I'm spamming his active skill, that shit is doing that for 3 days straight. That shit still feels like a chore. But imagine, bro, having to do this just you have to knock out every character with oh my gosh, dude, that was ridiculous.
There was no leader in the game that actually gave key and damage at the same time. So you had to choose between key or damage, not both. Also, don't forget that there was no potential system at the time. No additional spray attack. And resources were also extremely scarce back then, meaning that most of your characters weren't even fully leveled up, let alone
Man, bro, what was Dokkan thinking with this goofy ass mode, bro? Big bro, whoever, bro, biggest goof of the year, man. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, man. No AOE units. That's insane, bro. That's actually insane. I couldn't imagine, bro. Holy shit. Crazy
That's
work,
the
bro.
example. Meaning that even if you managed to super with a character, you weren't even guaranteed to get a kill. And let's say even if you managed to do so, you had 6 other characters to kill. In the first round, you had to face 3 different players. Then you had to kill 21 characters. Bro, just...
Hey, yo, DBL Shaft, thank you for the follow, gang. STR Broly was the worst event? Black Assassin, is that true? Was STR Broly was the worst event?
do the math. Like, that's already like an absurd amount of time just gone like that. And bro, honestly, the rewards weren't even worth it. In JP, the first world tournament didn't even have SSR tickets or anything like that. You weren't even guaranteed a character unless you were in the
Holy
top 30,000
shaft
players. The base rewards outside of rankings,
bro, it's like what was the point, bro? Like what was the point of even doing this?
Not even a multi-summon, and the rates were so
Damn!
back then. So multi,
Not even a multi. Damn!
at the time. This was just an L, like a huge L. I seriously don't understand how the developers tested something like that and were like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I know the work culture in Japan is like very intense and everything, but honestly, this is just too much. Like, this is slavery, like, bro. 2 weeks later, they dropped a new banner featuring a new Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. If I had to guess, I would assume that it's probably because the GP players were probably not satisfied with the strength Blue Vegeta being worse than his Goku counterpart. Nonetheless, this guy was very good. He still had an extreme damage multiplier, but his passive was way better now. His leader skills were also not bad, but the main problem with that guy was his link set. Like, Realm of Gods links were just not that great at the time, since the meta revolved almost exclusively around...
When they introduced LR Broly STR, it changed everything. Yeah, he must have been the guy for World Tournament.
Links like
He was the guy.
Race, Shock and Speed, Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, and Over in a Flash. Because of units like Super Saiyan Goku and Tech Majin Vegeta. 3 days later, we got another banner. This time introducing Frieza's brother into the game. Kula, Frieza's brother. Tech Final Form Cooler was probably the strongest extreme class unit at the time. He was legit just a modern version of Tech Final Form Frieza, the former hardest hidden unit in the game. His leader skill was also pretty decent. They also dropped at the same time a story event where you could farm medals to awaken the summonable SR Cooler and to Final Form Cooler. That cooler was alright if you didn't have Tech Cooler, but really nothing crazy. Fun fact, this guy's link set is actually different across both versions. On Global he has Prodigies and on JP he has Cold Judgment. Also, I didn't even know that, but this guy was actually farmable from that event at the time, but got removed later on for whatever reasons we brought back on when they revamped it. Nonetheless, his grind was apparently one of the worst of all time. You had to run the stage like 100 times just to drop one single card, and for whatever weird reason, SR Strike Mecha Frieza was in the drop pool. So if you dropped a character, there was a 50% chance that it wasn't going to be SR in cooler. Like, bro, that's honestly just asinine. Like,
yeah, I should make no sense. No, that don't make no damn sense, bro. That's crazy. That make no
they
sense.
seriously really didn't care back then. Like, bro, just imagine you're like farming an EZA and like there was a 50% chance that the medals we were going to get were from another EZA. Like, it makes literally no sense. At the same time, they also released new quest stages where you could now farm.
Oh yeah, I remember this stage.
And awaken him using medals from said stage.
I remember this.
It was pretty decent for a free to play card, but man, was his grind tedious. I especially remember that because I tried to pre-farm him on Global before they updated the drop rates, and this guy just wasn't worth it at all. Like, you don't understand, the drop rates were absolutely horrendous. And not only were the drop rates absolutely trash, I think if I remember correctly, one of those stages had a huge map, and like, bro, the map was just so laggy and so slow. Like, bro, just this guy's grind was just not worth it. Talking about tedious grinds, they actually dropped another story event where you could farm medals every day to awaken some SRs and to Great Saiyamans. Because yes, when this event first dropped, each day...
You know, speaking of Great Saiyaman, it's time for I think it's time for a Dokkan Fest exclusive Great Saiyaman, bro. It's time. It's time for a Dokkan Fest Great Saiyaman and Saiyawoman, bro. Make them like an exchange or a tag, but it's time. Let them lead Defenders of Justice. Crazy, bro. It's time.
different stages were available, so you had to be fast to farm those medals, and you had to farm a lot of them with pretty bad rates. After the 6th day, you were now able to awaken the free-to-play Gohan into Great Saiyaman, and well, he was okay for a free-to-play unit, but really nothing that great. As for the summonable one, well, he wasn't great either, and they pretty much both suffered from the same problem. They both had a very bad link set. The two other Videls, on the other hand, even though not great, 2 had some use. The Tech 1 debuffed AGL and N-type enemies, which was useful if you're trying to farm an AGL or N-type character, and the Strength Videl had the same leader skill as Strength % Bardock. So if you still didn't have him or any of his substitutes, you could easily use her as your leader for the time being. She was legit just a free-to-play version of Super Saiyan Bardock, but with a worse link set and worse support. Anyways, this story event came with a new banner introducing 18 Super Saiyan Gohan into the game. This guy had the same leader skill as Strength % Bardock.
So bro, I have 3 accounts now and only got him on 1. Crazy work, bro. Crazy. W Legends gameplay. Ha! You mean ass ball legends? Is that what you're talking about? Ass ball legends? Nope. Not on this stream, baby. Not on this stream.
Supreme damage multiplier, a 70% attack buff on super, and a decent league set. So this guy was actually pretty good. Not a bad card at all. He was like the int version of Strength % Trigoku. The month ended with another high banner, this time bringing Physical Ultimate Gohan and AGL Kid Buu into the game. This was actually the first banner to give you a guaranteed new character per multi-summon. This didn't mean a new
okay,
SSR
Dokkan stepping it up, okay.
If you already had all the SR and Rs in the game, I guess it
okay.
Nonetheless, Physical Ultimate Gohan completely changed the meta with his new leader skill. He was the
Said my other 2 accounts are long gone. Can't recover my JP account because you need to be fluent in Japanese to message them. Rip thousands of dollars. I'm sorry, gang. I'm sorry that had to happen. I'm sorry. You're the only Dokkan person I watch. Hey, Pop Smurf, appreciate that, gang. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, gang. I appreciate that.
first card to give 2 ki to all types, meaning if you run 2 of him, you were able to super pretty consistently, which was a huge deal at the time. Not only
W
that,
hat,
was
thank you, thank you.
to have an attack buff on super attack. Couple that with his supreme damage multiplier and the 70% attack buff he got from his passive, and you had yourself a unit that could hit pretty hard, but also consistently. His only drawback really was his link set. It sucked at the time. The only good link he had was Shock and Speed, and Shock and Speed was seen by many at the time as the best key link in the game, and the one to build your team around. While Over and Air Flash was better, but only Wells could really make use of it since very few characters had this link. So yeah, Physical Ultimate Gohan was a pretty good card. I wish I could say the same about AGL Kid, but this guy had a questionable leader skill and just more healing in his passive. Like, the healing was good, but when every single unit you link with heals too while doing absolutely nothing else, well, it's bad. And that's not even to mention the fact that this guy had 0 key links, so good luck spraying with him. I guess in some niche scenarios you could cook an unkillable team with him and other boos, but man, if it takes you 2 years to kill the enemy, what's the point? The month of August started with a V-Jump exclusive SR AGL Beerus. His leader skill gave 2 key to AGL type units, he did extreme damage and lowered defense on super, and he had an 8% chance to get...
Wow, so they used to do a lot of like V-Jump exclusive characters. I don't know why they don't do that nowadays. Like, I think that'd be pretty cool. Like, imagine we get like a V-Jump exclusive character. I think that'd be pretty cool. Did I rainbow all free-to-play cards? I mean, I started during the 6th anniversary, so I might have missed out on a couple. But, I mean, for more modern units, yeah, I have.
3 key to all allies. So as you guessed it, he wasn't very good unless you were a new player and just needed a filler unit to get by. The next day it was already time for the second world tournament.
Oh like, my gosh,
give people enough time to recover from the first
another one
tournament. Like, I honestly pity the GP players who had to go through
that. No,
like, don't forget that there's still no AoE units in the game. This is just as bad as the first world tournament. Nonetheless, this world tournament brought 1 new awakening and 2 new reward cards. The awakened R strength Krillin into an SR, and obviously he wasn't good, but he could be used in some niche scenarios since he linked pretty well with the other Dragon Ball Saga units like the Strike event Jackie Chun. As for the actual reward card, AGL Bardock was not bad. Like, sure, he had a subpar leader skill and did extreme damage, but he was a key support type unit given 2 key to all AGL and strength type units. And since he was the first SSR base form Bardock, he linked pretty well with Strength % Bardock, who was still an outstanding unit. So yeah, this guy had value just because he was named Bardock, quite literally. If this guy was something like Garlic Jr., bro, Honestly, he would have found this
Yeah,
thing
it
as
would've been so
complete
ass.
trash and not worth the fun. Bardock also came with a new SRGT Goku, who is actually still to this day a GP exclusive. Like, this guy never came to global. They completely forgot about him. But it doesn't really matter since that guy was not that good even at the time. Like, sure, his leader skill and start of turn attack buff were alright for an SR, but his damage multiplier and link set were really not that good. I think he was like the only unit in the game at the time to have the GT link, which was a good link, but it didn't matter if there was no other unit in the game to share it with. After the storm, they dropped the first banner of the month featuring 3 new SSRs, AGL God Goku.
You said, nah, those tournaments suck to do, but the stones were worth the grind at the time. Oh, okay. So, I mean, at the time, yeah, it was worth it. But, I mean, grinding back-to-back world tournaments for 22 stones a pop, that's still not even a multi. Yeah, imagine doing world tournament back-to-back weekends to not even get, like, at least a multi's worth of stones. Oh, my gosh, dude. Yeah, that would have been crazy, man. I don't know. I couldn't even manage.
Tech Quiz and Strength Beerus. God Goku was actually insane. He had the same leader skill as the best unit in the game. He had the supreme damage multiplier and an insane attack buff in his passive, which was actually activated on Super, just like AGL's percent Blue Goku. But what made this guy way better than Blue Goku was his link set. Bro, this guy had 2 of the best key links at the time, shock and speed and over in a flash. So this guy was just a key battery that also did a ton of damage. So yeah,
okay, yeah, shock and speed seems to be a pretty popular one.
Again, they thrown in strengths percent Goku. And it was also pretty clear now that the meta was now moving on from Super Saiyan units to over in a flash units. Tech Whiz was seen as many as a missed opportunity because if you look at his leader skill, he literally leads all the types that had at least 1 unit with the over in a flash link.
You said nothing was giving the amount of stones you can get now. The fact you didn't get tickets from World Tournament was absurd, disgusting. Yeah, I know. I mean, just making you do the most for the least. That's kind of like how it is now. So like with a lot of these like events and stuff, like you're doing the most just to get the least amount of rewards. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine struggling. It's like doing Festival of Battles, right? You're doing the most for the least amount of stones. Then you get like 15 stones a clear or something. That's like, bro, what the fuck, dude? I spent 2 hours just to get 15 stones. Damn it! Come on, Dokkan. Let's get with the program.
But for whatever reason, they didn't give him the link himself. So yeah, the dream of running a crazy team with like Majin Vegeta, God Goku, Strength percent Goku under a 25% attack and defense leader skill was over. Like, don't get me wrong, you could still run that team and it still was like a top tier team, but it could have been like way better if TechWiz just had the over and a flash link. Nonetheless, he had a supreme damage multiplier and lowered attack on Super, which was good, and he also had a high chance of stunning the attacked enemy as his passive, something that,
you know what's crazy, we haven't even gotten a like a Dokkan Fest Wheeze. Like when was the last one we actually got? What was the last Dokkan Fest Wheeze we actually got, or if we even had one? Like a summonable like Dokkan Fest exclusive Wheeze. I mean, what was it like? Was it the STR one or was that like a banner unit? Never had one. Yeah, bro. Like what the fuck, Dokkan? Like we're missing a couple of characters. Missing Kid Buu, a Wheeze summonable. We're missing Namek Super Saiyan Goku. Like, bro. Come on, we're like, come on, let's get the program, Dokkan. Start getting these guys out here. You know, it's been 11 years. Come on.
It was never seen before at the time, so it did have some value. Strength Beerus. This guy was an interesting card to say the least. His leader skill was okay.
Like, bro, they want to drop 3 base form Gokus in 2023, but not one Wheeze, not one Kid Buu, not one fucking, what was the other character? Namek Goku, but 3 base form Gokus in the same year. That is fucking absurd. 3 base form Gokus, and one of them was not even useful, bro. One of them was just straight ass cheeks. It was like, bro, what was the point, man? Come on.
Damage was okay, his multiplier was supreme, and he lowered defense on Super. But what made him interesting was his passive. He had a high chance of raising his attack by 150%. Like, this was the highest damage combo seen to date. Supreme damage multiplier with 150% attack. Like, just to put things into perspective, the biggest one before him was AGL Blue Goku. Also had the supreme damage multiplier, but only an 80% attack.
Hey, yo, big Dokkan uncle, what's goody? What's goody?
Passive proc, this guy was pretty much the hardest hidden unit in the game.
Hey, yo, Team Apocalypse, I'm doing good, gang. How you doing, my boy? 2 of them mid. Nah, dude, Kai Goku and World Tour 23rd World Tournament Goku, those guys were bangers. They weren't mid, they were bangers. Tree of Might Goku, that guy just sucked ass, bro. Literally, he was a nothing burger of a character, but Kai Goku and 23rd World Tournament Goku, those guys were bangers.
And honestly, this sounds crazy on paper, especially when you look at it now, like a high chance, 50% chance, right? Well, no, his high chance was actually a 30% chance of him raising his attack. So yeah, you had a 70% chance of him basically doing nothing. And that's not even pointing out the fact that this guy had a horrible link set. Like, bro, his best linking partner was AGL God Goku, and he only shared 2 links with him. Godly Power and Shocking Speed, giving him 2 ki and 50% attack. This banner also brought 2 new SRs, but they weren't really that great. Like, Inbu had an interesting passive, but with his low SR stats, lack of key links, and extreme damage SA multiplier, there was just no way you could actually put that passive to use. But you could actually use him to raise the super attack level of physical Buu, and the same for Vegeta. He could be safe to raise the super attack level of future base form Vegetas. The celebration introduced a new Battle of God story event, where you could farm a new base form Goku from the Battle of God movie, as well as medals to awaken one of the summonable SR Goku into Super Saiyan God. The farmable R Goku didn't bring anything new to the table since his drop rates were worse than the epic showdown R.
Can't wait for Mushoku Tensei Season 3.
On the other hand,
I never heard of that as a good.
Was the first farmable Super Saiyan Goku. Like,
Mushoku Tensei 3
was very tedious since you needed like a ton of middles and his drop rate was not that great. But if you were willing to do the work, you could use this guy to raise the super attack level of any Super Saiyan Goku at the time. Physical Super Saiyan God Goku was actually a pretty decent alternative if you didn't pull AGL Super Saiyan God Goku. He had a decent leader skill and was a support type unit for strength and physical type, giving them 20% attack. The only real downside of this guy were his extreme damage multiplier and lack of key links. Like, bro, this guy had 0 key links, which would have been fine if he had some key in his passive or leader skill, but no, this guy was just pure raw stats. But like I said, he was a unique name character with only AGL Super Saiyan God Goku sharing his name. So if you didn't pull him, that guy was a decent option. 2 weeks later, we got a new banner featuring Turles and one hand Spirit Bomb Goku. And bro, let me tell you that Turles was cracked. He had
Dokkan was hell but fun.
Ultimate Gohan from the month prior. But what made him really stand out is that he also was...
Hey, you know, I mean, I understand it, you know, it's like pretty much all you knew at the time, so it's like this is all you knew, you know. It's like, you know, yeah, it was hell, but you know, really makes you appreciate how far the game has come. You know what I mean? It's really good. It's kind of like that time I got reincarnated to a slime in a mix of a Kame got kill. Bro, you'd say a Kame got kill, bro, I'm not even gonna watch it, man. You said it's a mix of a Kame got kill, I'm not gonna watch it. The anime was ass, bro. I'm gonna be honest. That anime sucked.
As a key support type unit, giving 2 ki to all allies as long as you were above 50% HP. Like, bro, this meant that you could run 2 Turles as your leaders, float them off, run another key support type unit as a floater, have 2 rotations of heavy damage dealers, and boom, you had 6 ki at all times, meaning that ki was no longer an issue. This opened up so many possibilities. You could pretty much build any team you wanted with this guy. So this pretty much made that guy the new best extreme class unit, and arguably even the new best unit in the game. The only downside to this guy were really his extreme damage multiplier and unique link set, which weren't really a problem when you look at the value this guy provided. Not only was he a key support type unit, but he also had a 50% chance to stun the enemy for 2 turns on super attack. Like, that's pretty damn good when you take into consideration how easy it is to super attack on his team. I wish I could say the same about one hand Spirit Bomb Goku. Like, he wasn't bad, but he just wasn't in Turles, you know. Like, quite the opposite actually. While Turles was extremely versatile and could be used pretty much everywhere, this guy was very niche. You could only really make the best out of him when facing an in-type unit. And yes, I agree, against in-type enemies, this guy's team was insane. You were pretty much invincible. All you had to do was bring some orb changing items and you were good to go. But other than that, he was very mid. Like, he had an extreme damage multiplier, which kind of sucked since he was meant to be a nuker and do damage. And bro, his link set was also not that great. He only had 1 key link being prepared for battle, which was not a very common link at the time. The other cards that came with the banner were really nothing special, and honestly not really worth going over. I guess Amond, or however you spell that name, was honestly not that bad since he could seal on super and was a support type unit given 10% attack and defense to all allies. Like,
you said not a fan of a Kame got kill. It's okay. Not everyone's cup of tea. Well, the thing is, though, when it comes to a Kame got kill, bro, I read the manga. The manga is amazing. The manga is amazing. And it's Akame Got Kill is a prime example for any anime. It's a prime example of what happens when the show or the anime outpaces the manga. Classic case, bro. Like the manga was amazing, but the fact that the anime finished before the manga finished, it just ruined the anime. Ruined it. That anime ruined it. Akame Got Kill is basically an anime about everyone dying. Don't get attached to anyone. Well, Michael Reigns, that's what happened. I got attached to damn near every character. You know what I'm saying? Shield, Blot, Chelsea, bro. They did Chelsea dirty, bro. Chelsea got done dirty. I think hers, like, bro, I fell to my knees like Tatsumi, bro. When he seen what happened to Chelsea, I fell to my knees just like he did, bro, in disbelief and shock. You know, I just couldn't believe it, man. And the thing is, I was like, she wasn't even around for like a long time either. Same thing with, I think what was that fool's name? Susanoo, that guy. Yeah, the Susanoo, whatever his name was. He didn't really go out like all crazy, bro. He went out better in the manga. Would be a good ass show if they didn't like take out everybody. Yeah, I mean, bro, and then. Yeah, it was just crazy, bro. Mine didn't have to get done the way she did. That was kind of stupid though. Mine didn't have to get done like that in the anime. As Death, bro, she didn't have to get done like that. Who else? The what's the cat girl's name? I forgot her name. Shit. Let's see. Chelsea, Blot, Tatsumi, mine, Najinda, fuck, what was her name, bro? What was the cat lady's name? I forgot, bro. Damn. Come on, chat. Somebody help me, bro. Please, somebody help me. Leone. There you go, Leone. Okay, my mind jogged. Leone. Yeah. Oh, I'm forgetting somebody. Who else was it? The other guy, with the green hair. I can't think, bro. I can't think right now. So somebody jog my memory.
Like, you're definitely not going to use R Raisin for his medium chance of disabling the enemy guards. Even though surprisingly some people did at the time. The celebration came with a new Tree of Might story event where you could farm some new characters. SR Turles was nothing like his summonable counterpart. Like, he was just a straight debuffer. So I guess if you didn't have Interlist, you could use him, I guess, against a physical type enemy. But for the most part, this guy was mostly seen as a means to raise the super attack level of Interlist. SR physical dies was alright. I guess if you're a new player and you had literally no other options. And R Lakazai was interesting, I guess. Like, he had a 30% damage reduction when his card was activated. So this guy was surprisingly a pretty good tank if you're facing an in-type enemy. 2 days later, the game had his first download celebration. The 20 million download celebration. They gave everyone a free SR Angel Goku. This guy was actually not bad if you're a new player. He had an Oki.
Oh, it was Lubbock. There you go, Lubbock. There you go. Hey, yo, Kowloon, what's goody? I'm doing good, gang. We're just reacting to the first year Dokkan, baby. We're just reacting to the first year. Hey, if you guys are liking the content, bro, hit that like button, bro. Share the live stream if you want all your other friends to come through and kick it with your boy, bro. We're having fun tonight, all right? We're having fun. Just an hour of straight Dokkan history, bro. Just an hour. If you guys like the content, share the live, like, follow. Really would appreciate it, gang. An hour of Dokkaning, bro. I can't get enough, gang. I just can't.
Fun fact, but this guy on Global was actually just the second awakening of the epic showdown R Goku, making him, if I'm not mistaken, one of the only card in game to change type upon being Dokkan awakened. The 20 million download celebration also came with its own banner, and let me tell you, that banner was cracked. It had 20 discounted multis and 20 discounted singles, while also featuring strengths percent Goku, ins percent Gohan, physicals percent Vegeta, AGLs percent Sugoku, AGL Kaiken Goku, physical ultimate Gohan, and tech Whis. So a very good banner that baited many Japanese players.
Hey yo, Zai, thank you for the donos, gang. Thank you for those donos. Appreciate it, Zai. Thank you. Remember Gogeta with no leader skill? I remember that. I wasn't playing around that time, but I remember the memes, bro. I remember the memes. I also hope you get a new Yu-Gi-Oh movie. It's been 10 years since the last one. When was the last one? The Dark Side of the Dimensions or something like that.
At the time, especially Wells with that insane 20 discounted multis. Like, bro, what the hell is that? Just imagine if the global first Rose banner had 20 discounted multis. Like, I skipped that banner, but if it had 20 discounted multis, I would have summoned like crazy. That's just so insane. Like, sure, physical suppression Vegeta sucked, but pretty much every other unit in the banner was.
Like, imagine if they actually did that nowadays, bro. 20 discounted multis. You know how cracked that would be? I don't think Dokkan would ever do that again, but could you imagine if they really did that? 20 discounted multis, bro. That's damn near. That's almost a pity copy. If you really think about it, like, that's almost pity. Yeah, woohoo, bro. I'm telling you, we would. Like, I'll be honest. Like, a lot of people say 2026 is one of the worst years of Dokkan. Bro, if they drop something like this, all that shit talking would go out the window. It'd be like, oh my gosh, Dokkan 2026, best year ever, 20 discounted multis. You know, I mean, people would be like spazzing out. I spent my money because I love Gogeta. They really played my ass. Yeah, dude. No leader skill for like 6 months, something like that, or a year. The banner art style was looking sick back then. Yeah, they definitely don't do it like how they used to.
Just so insane. Like, sure, physical suppression Vegeta sucked, but pretty much every other unit in the banner was.
Do you think Kid Boo's next? Nah, man. And the next character, bro, it's got to be like Dokkan Fest Krillin. I'm telling you, Dokkan Fest Saiyan Saga Krillin, bro, or it's got to be Saiyan Saga Kid Gohan. One of the two.
Still somewhat decent. The celebration also brought 2 new Super Strike units, SR in Chilled and SR Grandpa Gohan, but unfortunately by that time the era of SR Strike characters being relevant was pretty much over. They still had huge damage multiplier, low stats, and with the new 2 key to all types leader skills, their leader skills were not that great anymore. Like, bro, just look at Grandpa Gohan passive skill. What is that? Like, 1 key? Like, even for the time that was trash. Like, bro. SR Chill on the other hand was a nuker, so I guess he wasn't completely worthless, but yes, strike units were now officially dead. Well, until their revamp, but we'll talk about that in due time. If you're wondering why they dropped such an insane banner for a $20 million celebration, well, if you know anything about gacha games, it's pretty obvious. This was a bait. A big bait, because something insane was coming. Something that nobody expected at the time. The first ever Dokkan Fest. Strength Broly. And oh boy, was this insane. He introduced a new leader skill meta.
The first Dokkan Fest, brother!
Game breaking. You were probably still better off running double interlist for the most part, but what really made that guy game breaking was his super attack. He was the first AoE unit ever, meaning that you could wipe the whole board with one super attack.
Wait, you said on DBL didn't pull Gogeta or Broly got shafted win 30k CC on both banners, almost at pity both banners, but only have 800 CC left. OMG, that there was that one Super Saiyan 3 Goku that could absolutely nuke stuff. This game was wild for real back then. I mean, it's what it sounds like. It's what it sounds like.
This guy a must for World Tournament. Like, it's either you had him or just don't even bother with the World Tournament. But he had a drawback. His defense was reduced to 0 on super attack. So yeah, this guy was the definition of glass cannon. Kill everyone before they touch you. Which was honestly fine at the time since nothing could survive one of his supers. His Dokkan event came with a new farmable base form Broly that could awaken into Super Saiyan Broly. And for a free-to-play unit, that physical Super Saiyan Broly was actually pretty good. He had decent stats, an alright leader skill, and star return attack buff. Like, he could output some decent numbers. But talking about Broly's Dokkan event, like, holy, this guy was probably harder than Red Zone Broly. Like, bro, if you didn't have a...
Is that true, guys? Was this Broly harder than Red Zone movie bosses Broly? Is that true? So somebody come to the front of the congregation right now and come to the front of the classroom and let me know, bro. Let me know. For all those OG players, was this guy harder than Red Zone movie bosses Broly? Come on, come to the front of the classroom, bro. Please state your case. A lot of yeses. So the congregation speaks and we come to a conclusion. I wasn't around when this was happening, but damn, bro. I heard the horror stories. I heard the horror stories. Like, this Broly, man, I don't know. I don't know if I would have survived. I'll be honest, bro. Like, bro, my Saiyan warrior spirit wouldn't have survived this event. I can't remember back then you had to grind to get some good things. Terrifying times, bro. Everybody playing this event back in the day, for real deal, was in the all-out struggle category. For all you OG players, you were the faces of the all-out struggle category for this one. For real.
To disable his rampage ability, you literally just couldn't damage this guy. And bro, the AGL type was not as stacked as you would think at the time. Your best options were all premium units that you had to summon.
Oh my
for.
gosh!
So unless you were a well or a very lucky player, you were going to
Look
have
at that
a hard
damage.
time building a decent AGL team to face that guy. But that's not even the worst thing. Unlike Red Zone Broly, where you had 3 runs a day, you pretty much only had 1 or 2 runs in this guy event. Since the Z-Hard stage costed 40 stamina at the time.
Damn!
And most players still had very low rank level, which costed 40
Damn!
stamina.
40? Damn! Back then? Woo! Bro said you only got 1 to 2 runs a day. Bro. Woo! 1 to 2 runs a day, dude. Bro, Dokkan was on y'all asses back then, bro. 1 to 2 runs a day. Oh my gosh. That's it. That's insane, bro. Holy. Wow. Okay. Woo! For a single medal? All right, let's talk about it.
And most players still had very low rank levels, so they didn't have a lot of at the time. And most players still...
Oh, so, okay, so let's say you have like 106 stamina. You can only do like 40, 80, let's see, 9, 10, 11. You can only do, yeah, literally only 2 to 3 ones a day. That's crazy. Hey, yo, Mimi, what's goody? So today, Junior, we're reacting to the first year of Dokkan. We're reacting to the first year of Dokkan. Dokkan was holding the belt, ready to swing. Woo, shit, bro. I said we're dropping Broly and good luck. we weren't not getting 10 from the event. We had to suffer.
Still had very
all out
low
struggle.
rank
I'm telling you guys, all out struggle, baby. All out struggle category.
So they didn't have a lot of stamina, and you for sure weren't going to use stones to replenish your stamina. You're honestly better off using your stones to summon on his banner and pull one of those new units that could disable his rampage ability. And bro, you may be thinking like, okay, well, it's not actually the worst thing in the world that you have to summon. Be thinking,
bro, that
like,
damage was pitiful.
Okay, well, it's not
10 damage, bro. That's fucking pitiful. 10 damage, bro. That's pitiful. I should say Texel was a lot better. 10 damage, that's fucking pitiful, bro.
Actually the worst thing in the world that you have to summon on his banner to beat his Dokkan event, since if you didn't pull him, there was no reason for you to beat his Dokkan
my
event.
gosh.
And look, you've got a point, but let's not forget yet again that the rates at the time were absolutely horrendous. So the chances were pretty high that you could manage to pull Broly, but none of the other featured units. And trust me, you didn't want to have this guy on Dokkan Awakened. Like, his TUR was great, but his SSR, that's another story. No AoE on Super, but with the same drawbacks. So yeah, you absolutely needed to beat his Dokkan event. Talking about his banner, it came with 6 new SSRs, something never...
6 SSRs? So you had... So these were the 3 Blazing Battle characters, the Goku, Goten, and Gohan. I'm assuming that Trunks is just like a random ass character. You got Purungus. Purunga, whatever. What was his fucking name again? Purungus. And then yeah, Broly right there. Wow, okay. I mean, bro, was this a goated banner? Paragus, yeah, I said Purungus. I was thinking of like I was thinking of like the today, Junior. Damn, I can't get it out. The Namekian Dragon Balls thing and mixing those 2 together. Okay, bro. I was, bro. This is looking crazy right now. I'm getting flustered, brother. I'm getting flustered.
Seen before. Like 6 new SSRs in a single banner. Super Saiyan Gohan was actually the best unit in there for Broly's Dokkan event, since not only did he disable Broly's Rampage, he was AGL, had a supreme damage multiplier, and had a 70% attack buff on super attack. Like, this guy was a game changer for Broly's Dokkan event. Strength Super Saiyan Goku was probably the second best unit against Broly. He had a supreme damage multiplier, disabled Broly's Rampage, and had Tsuki and a 2000 flat stat buff above 80% HP. His leader skill also included all types you would run against Broly, so he was pretty decent. Strength Goten, the first unit to have a new king leader skill, if I'm not wrong, while also being the first unit to orb change. So yeah, this guy was actually pretty valuable, and since he also disabled Rampage, he was a very good option against Broly's Dokkan event. Super Saiyan GT Goku was honestly very mid.
So what I'm kind of noticing is that a lot of the systems that Dokkan has in place now was already in the old Dokkan. Like, okay, so when he was talking about summoning for characters that disables the Rampage, like these, let me go back. So yeah, these 3 characters were made to take on this event. So it's like, when a lot of people complain nowadays, this shit has already been going on. It's just they just didn't know about it. So as you can kind of say, Dokkan's never switched up. Like they've been like this, bro. It's just the newer players. They just weren't around for this to see it, so they don't really understand. Like summoning for these 3 characters just to have the Blazing Battle Link just to beat one event kind of sounds like some events that Dokkan does nowadays, you know?
Like 6 bullet damage for multi painful. And since Super Saiyan GT Goku was honestly very mid, like he had an extreme damage multiplier and a 40% star of turn attack buff. But looking at the other featured units, the GT Link was starting to look pretty good. Super Saiyan GT Trunks had a very unique leader skill, where he buffed the heal from same type orbs. This could have been good on like a very tanky team, but on a Super Saiyan character this was pretty much useless. He was a tech and strength type key support though, which was pretty good, so even with his extreme damage multiplier, he still was a decently valuable unit. Strength Majub also had a very interesting leader skill, tricky to all allies when above 80% HP. If you were able to stay above that HP threshold, this was probably the best leader skill in the game. But it was pretty much impossible to do so in a hard event like Broly's Dokkan event. The rest of his kit was also not great. Like, sure, he lowered attack on super, but he had an extreme damage multiplier, a flat stat buff when above 80% HP, and a horrible link set. So yeah, overall, not that great of a card. The banner also came with 5 new SRs and 1 new R. 3 of them were GT characters, which was actually a good thing at the time since it meant more character to share the GT link.
Bro, how many fucking characters came on that one banner, bro? How many characters is on that banner? Damn. Damn, bro.
And they were all support type units.
Wow,
so
okay.
Killer units to slap on.
They really made it hard to get those characters. That's crazy. Hey, yo, Devil Yami, what's goody? What's goody? Yeah, bro, we're just reacting to the first year of Dokkan. Hey, like I said, guys, I'm gonna tag the original video, so shout out Ploof for the Dokkan history video. I'm gonna link it in my description.
Your team if you were a new player and didn't have any better options. SR Pargas had an interesting leader skill if you were a new player and had no better options, and he also had SR in Jacko passive skill, but with a 4% chance of stunning all enemies instead of 7. R Hercule had an interesting leader skill too, damage received reduced by 10%, and his passive skill gave him an additional 30% damage reduction when his guard was active. So yeah, no one was running this guy as a leader since he was only usable against an in-type unit, and in that case you were better off just running one ahead Spirit Bomb Goku. But if you're facing an in-type unit, this guy was surprisingly not a bad option. If you're a new player, this guy was a lifesaver for any in-type strike event, and we already had 3 of those at the time. SR's % Kid Trunks was for sure the most valuable SR.
Dude, this is some fodder,
more
bro.
Valuable than some of the featured SSRs, and that's because
back then they were the shit, but this is fodder now. Crazy, bro.
AGL, disabled Broly's Rampage, and was an AGL.
Hey, yo, Blushy Otaku, what's goody? What's goody? Back then, Dokkan was strategic AF. Wow. Okay, so this is kind of like modern. I mean, to a degree, modern day Festival of Battles. Only not the context of the event, but the overall, like, you really got to think about what you're gonna do. Like on that level, you really got to think about how you're gonna. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I remember when Ted Guldo was to be a must-have. Hey, Raptar Crabfar, what's goody, gang? What's goody? What's goody? Especially with Super Battle Road, where you can survive supers, you can see the little bit of power creep. I mean, like I've been kind of noticing, Dokkan, they've been on this kind of timing. It's just a lot of people that started getting into the game like in the last like 2 to 3 years, they just weren't really aware like that. So I mean, I guess this is super nostalgic, love it, good shit. Even finding this video, yeah, bro, we're gonna do like a whole reaction series, bro, because it's kind of crazy like how Dokkan actually used to be.
type orb changer. Like nowadays, this sounds just so trash. But at the time, this guy was actually one of your best options against Broly. And talking about Broly, this guy Dokkan event was not the only nightmare that month. 2 days later came the third World Tournament.
Oh
so
my
I guess
God!
it was official now that they were going to release.
Bro, they drop a hard ass event and then they slam another world tournament. Damn. They're giving you one of the hardest events that ever dropped, and they're ever gonna slap a world tournament on y'all, bro. Y'all thought y'all enjoying Broly? Boom, world tournament, baby. Oh my god, dude, I don't even think, bro, Dokkan wasn't even player friendly, bro. That just sound like a nightmare. Damn. Well, I guess at least at this point, since you had the AOE STR Dokkan Fest Broly, then this must not have been much of like a chore if you even pulled him. But damn, bro, it's like, bro, what's next? You know what I mean? What's next? I hear about the FU event in Dokkan. When did that happen? The FU, wait, was that the where Yamcha was throwing up his middle finger? I don't know.
A world tournament.
I wonder if that was the
every
first
single
year.
month moving forward. But just imagine that, a world tournament every single month. That seems like.
You said, wasn't the whole Ginyu Force team pretty solid back then? I think I just saw a whole SR team of Ginyu Force characters. I think so, yeah. Anyone who didn't pull him was super down bad. Oh, I couldn't even imagine, bro. I couldn't even imagine. That's actually, it's like, back then it's like you either had the character or you really didn't have an account. That's kind of like how it was operating back then.
Hell. Nonetheless, if you pulled Broly, you probably had a blast at World Tournament. Imagine going from no AoE units at all to just 1 or 2. Like, the jump in quality of life was massive, as you can imagine. Like, World Tournament went from being the single worst event made in history of gacha games to actually still being hell, but way better. They also bumped the World Tournament rewards from 22 stones to 37 stones. Nothing crazy, but
Okay, we gotta jump in Dragon Stones, okay.
22 stones was criminal if you consider how hard the first 2 World Tournaments actually were. This World Tournament introduced the World Tournament Ticket Summon banner, like the free-to-play one. So even if you weren't able to get a copy of the main World Tournament unit with...
Hey, and you know what's crazy? Who would have thought, man? This was the start of the free-to-play Demon King Piccolos. This was the start of free-to-play Demon King Piccolos. Damn it. Crazy ass work, bro. Crazy ass work. Woo! That must have been something, bro. I couldn't even imagine.
At least get some tickets to summon on that banner, who unlike today did hold some value. This banner brought 30 new units, 3 new SSRs, 6 new SRs, and 4 new Rs. SSR Tech Demon King Piccolo had the same leader skill type as the first ever summonable SSRs, so pretty much outdated by that time. Like, the game had been out for almost 9 months now, and if you're a new player, you weren't getting any of those tickets anyway.
You said people just used to re-roll all the time back in the day. I never re-rolled, but I made loads of accounts because I used to take my account back in the day. I started during 3rd anniversary. Okay, Devil Yami, okay. Okay. Ain't nothing on that Kaioken Blue Goku or Super Saiyan Blue Vegito or Super Saiyan Vegito. There was a necessity. Nobody had a counter but him. Oh, yeah, the AGL Super Vegito. Yeah, I remember him.
Since the World Tournament was still not a beginner-friendly event. So yeah, kind of a bummer. He also had an extreme damage multiplier, which was an L, but he had a 10% chance to stun on Super, which was something, I guess. The only good thing really about this guy was that he was a key support type unit, given 2 key to tech and in type units. SSR in Demon King Piccolo, on the other hand, had the best leader skill at the time. As a free-to-play unit, this was insane. He had an extreme damage multiplier and lower...
Bruh, they've been dropping free-to-play Demon King Piccolos, dude, since 2015, bro. That's some dope, bro. They stay dropping free-to-play Demon King Piccolos, bro. They, out of all of them that they dropped, they didn't think like not once like, hey, you know what? Let's give them a Dokkan Fest. Let's see how well this will do. But no, bro, just free-to-play characters up the ass, man. Dokkan's been shafting Demon King Piccolo since 2015, gang. It's been they've been doing this guy dirty for like a decade. That's crazy, bro. Like, he was one of the characters that gave Kid Goku the beats, bro. I'm talking like that one scene where Goku was like biting his thumb, and then Demon King Piccolo like slammed him to the rock and just gave him the fucking elbow into the rock, dude. Like, and they stayed disrespecting him like this, literally, bro. Like, slammed him to the rock and just Ugh! Crazy work, man. Crazy. They disrespect this guy so much, dude. It's actually like sad. It's actually sad, bro. I would say he was like one of the first like real worldwide threats. And then he doesn't have a summonable character? That's insane. Demon King Piccolo, not that hype to me, not gonna lie, but the Kid Goku definitely needs an LR. Can't wait till we get the Annie STR Gogeta and Injanimba.
Defense on Super, but he debuffed.
Crazy, man. They stay disrespecting Demon King Piccolo. Crazy.
At all time. This was actually a pretty good passive for a unit that had a good leader skill. But the great thing about this guy is that he had a different name than his tech variant. So you could actually link them up together. And they shared 5 links. So even though they weren't insane alone, linked together they were actually a pretty decent rotation. SSR Strength Kid Goku was pretty much the fish play variant of Strength Percent 3 Goku. They shared the same type and leader skill. It's just that Kid Goku had an extreme damage multiplier and that his 70% attack buff was up when facing 3 or more enemies, which was still a recurrent thing in like the quest mode, story events, and obviously the world tournament. So yeah, not a bad card. As for the rest of the banner units, I'm not going to go over all of them since there's really nothing interesting to say about them except for one guy, and you know who I'm talking about. This is the banner that introduced Devilman into the game. This guy is probably single-handedly the most valuable card to ever release for a Fridge Play player. This guy, as you probably know, it has a 1% chance to get 1,000,000% attack. So pretty much one-shot anything in the game. And like, I know it's just a 1% chance. And unless you had a key leader, super attacks were still a hard thing to consistently pull off. But if you had the patience to pull through with this guy, you could pretty much beat any event in the game. And this is something that became extremely valuable with time. So this guy will be brought up in future episodes. The World Tournament Reward card was not only a very hype character, but also very good. He was pretty much on par with Text Percent Goku. And just so you guys know, back then we had no potential system. So free to play units and summonable units pretty much had the same stats. So yeah, this guy had the supreme damage multiplier and was a key support type unit given 2 keys to HL and tech type units. If you had Strength Broly, this guy was definitely worth the grind. 2 weeks later, we had the first ever Dokkan crossover campaign, and with none other than One Piece. It's honestly crazy to think that we could have had a One Piece character in Dokkan. Well, technically,
bro, why don't they ever do this shit no more? Bro, One Piece Dokkan collab, dude, I'd be creaming my fucking pants, dude. Luffy, Nami, bro, I'd be going crazy with this collab, dude. That's, bro, they need to bring this back, man. Like, I get it now. Dokkan is like on a whole nother level compared to like One Piece Treasure Cruise, but dude, One Piece is like at it's getting better and better, bro. Like, damn, Dokkan, they need to do something like this again.
we did get a Doflamingo card, but he wasn't a playable unit, just a boss. But yeah,
oh, they had a boss Doflamingo? Damn, dude, that goes so crazy. I remember this event too. Such a shame my old JP account is lost. Dude, crazy, man. Imagine if we got like bosses from like different like animes in this game. It's like a little crossover. Dude, that'd be insane. That would actually be insane. Like, okay, to be honest, I think if every gacha kind of followed Dokkan's model, I think they'd be just as successful. Like, imagine like a One Piece gacha game that plays exactly just like Dokkan, with crazy animations from certain points in this. I think that would actually go crazy. You know, kind of like just rework it a little bit, but that would actually go crazy. Like, I think Dokkan low-key might be the blueprint. I don't know.
Fortunately, all we got as a playable card is a Bye Guys Goku. For a free-to-play character, this guy was
this is the Bye Guys Goku?
Skill for a free-to-play unit, a 20% chance to stun on Super, but more importantly, this guy gave 2
He's a free-to-play character?
Was above 50%.
Womp womp.
So this guy, alongside
Womp womp,
Interlist, were the only units in the game to key support units of every type. So yeah, very good unit, and his card art is just so cool. I wish they actually saved that for an LR Bye Guys Goku. The month ended with a new Boost Saga banner featuring the one and only Vegito, 2 new Super Saiyans, and 4 new SRs and R characters. Tech Vegito was pretty much the new Strength Percent Bardock. Same leader skill, but better spur attack effect and better passive. He was insane to say the least. And if you had him, he was pretty much a must run on every single Saiyan team. Strength Percent Vegeta was also pretty good. He had an interesting leader skill, like slightly worse than Interlist or Ultimate Gohan, but still very good nonetheless, given 2 key to 3 types was nothing to laugh at. He also had a supreme damage multiplier coupled with a 60% attack buff, and I'm pretty sure that attack buff on key 7 or more was calculated on super attack. So with a super type unit like Tech Vegeta, this guy could hit some pretty impressive numbers. Physical percent Sugoku was legit just Tech's percent Sugoku but for the physical type. Literally, there's nothing else to say about this guy. He was just a copy of Tech's percent Sugoku. So yeah, he was good. As for the other units, well, Dabura and Piccolo had interesting leader skills, reducing the
damn, there's some ass banners, bro. Not gonna lie. So they're just spamming like these random ass banners like crazy. Some of these things are just ass. One Piece Treasure Cruise is actually better than Dokkan No Cap. Oh, really? I'm gonna have to test that out for myself, gang. Dokkan needs to do that again. One Piece, Bleach, and have Goku and Luffy stuff and Ichigo stuff. You know, a lot of, so if anybody's ever played like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, no, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, they had a skin where like you could have, I think you could have Naruto and Goku's clothes, and then Goku was wearing like Naruto's Sage Mode fit. Like collaborations like that, bro. They need to start doing stuff like that again. And then they had like Lars from Tekken in that game, bro. Why did they stop doing that? They just start doing shit like that again, bro. Seriously.
Also lowering attack on super attack. So pretty much good filler units if you are trying to farm some strike characters of one of those types. Within the same celebration, the epic showdown or Goku got his Dokkan awakening. By that point, this guy was pretty much worthless. 2% chance of raising your attack by 150% was just not great for an SR. His stats were just too low, but he did have some use. If you missed the One Piece crossover campaign or you just couldn't beat the event, this guy was pretty much the best way to farm the super attack of any Super Saiyan Goku. Way easier to farm than the Battle of God in Super Saiyan Goku. 3 days later, they released a new stage for the One Piece crossover campaign. And this new stage dropped an awakened UR version of the Bye Guys Goku. His drop rate was pretty bad, but nothing crazy for these.
Damn, dude, just imagine, bro. Just imagine if they actually started doing stuff like this again. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, honestly, I think Dokkan would probably be the greatest gacha game in existence if they started doing these again. Bro, they need to start doing these. I mean, maybe because Dokkan feels like they're so much bigger than like I guess any of the One Piece titles, but bro, think about it, for business wise, you could bring the One Piece community and they can just clash together. Like, come on, gang. Have us battle like a hard boss from like the One Piece universe. Gear 5 crossover on Dokkan. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That's what I'm saying, bro. But I don't know. I guess these guys just don't want more money. I don't know.
They released a new stage for the One Piece.
Oh my gosh.
Campaign. And this new stage dropped an awakened UR version of the Bye Guys Goku. His drop rate was pretty bad, but nothing crazy for these days standards. So he wasn't harder to farm than any other unit at the time, but he was definitely more worth it than them. Not only was he good like explained earlier, but now that he dropped as a UR, you could actually use him to raise the super attack level of any Super Saiyan Goku at the time. There was also a campaign related to that event where players would work together for prizes, pretty much like those Spirit Bomb campaigns during Big Celebration. Every milestone give a different character coupled with Zenny Dragon Stones and training items. The characters were SRs for the most part, so nothing really interesting. I guess SR Tech Piccolo was a super type unit, so there's that. The final milestone actually gave an SSR character, and now they did one, but an SSR nonetheless. The month of October started with, as you guessed it, another world
tournament. Oh my gosh, dude, another one?
World tournament, only one.
Bro, why are they spamming so many damn world tournaments, bro? What was like Dokkan's like world tournament boner, bro? They just spamming these things like crazy. What? Why so many world tournaments, bro? Jeez. That's crazy.
A strength teen Gohan. And yeah, unlike the last World Tournament reward card, this guy was quite the downgrade. He had an extreme damage multiplier, unlike Gohan, who, if you remember, had a supreme damage multiplier. But I guess he did have a 25% chance of stunning on super, so there's that, I guess. His leader skill was pretty much outdated by that time, and his passive skill, 3 key when facing 3 or more enemies. So I would assume they wanted to make this guy good in the World Tournament, which he probably was if you didn't have Strength Broly. But yeah, honestly, if you didn't have Strength Broly, there's just no point in playing the World Tournament. Like, let's be honest.
Hey, I mean, you guys are right, bro. If you didn't have Dokkan Fest Broly, like that, fuck it, bro. Like, no, what's the point? Yeah, I feel it, bro. Like, seeing the way World Tournament operated back then, if you didn't have Broly, like, what's the point, bro? That's how Dokkan was operating, bro. If you don't have this character, what's the point? I mean, I'll tell you what, if you did World Tournament without any AoE characters, you're like a hardcore Dokkaner, bro. Like, I gotta get props, because even with all the AoE characters we have today, I still don't feel like doing World Tournament. And World Tournament has probably been cut in half, like time-wise. But no AoE characters and you're doing World Tournament? Hey, gang, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, hats off to you, bro. Like, actually, no. Yeah, for anybody who did AoE or did World Tournament with no AoE characters, bro, hats off. Hats off, baby. Hats off. You can see my chopped ass haircut too. Hats off, gang. You know what's crazy, bro? Like, when I take this hat off, you can see like how tight it is on my fucking forehead. Do you see the lines on my forehead? That's how tight this hat is on me, bro. It's probably because of the dreads.
But now that I think about it, he is Strength and do have the same lineage, Key-Link. So he was probably meant to be run alongside Strength Broly.
Hey, Raptar, you're a goat for doing that. You're a goat.
To introduce the first ever SSR ticket summon banner, which was surprisingly a pretty decent banner for the time. It had pretty much all the best summonable SSRs as featured units, like AGL God Goku, Strength % Tree Goku, Strength % Bardock, or even Physical Ultimate Gohan. And I would assume every other summonable SSR that released before AGL God Goku was unfeatured on the banner. So your chances of pulling something good were not as great as you would expect, but it was a free banner. Well, it was on paper. To get an SSR ticket, you had to win 100 times. Like, bro, I can't even bother to get my 30 wins now.
Whoa, wait, bro. Did I just hear that right? Did bro said you had to win 100 times to get one SSR ticket? 100 times? No. I don't think I heard that right. Hold on. What? Hold on. That can't be real.
But it was a free banner. Well, it was on paper. To get an SSR ticket, you had to win 100 times. Like, bro, I can't even bother to get my 30 wins now with crazy units like my junior that literally turned the world
100 times?
And you're telling me that people back then were running this shit with no AoE units?
Yo, 100 times?
100 times for a single?
Hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't think Dokkan liked anybody, bro. Dokkan didn't fuck with anybody playing this game, dude. That's crazy. 100 times for one SSR ticket? Hey BJ, we're reacting to the first year of Dokkan. The first year. So this is before first anniversary. We're reacting to that. Crazy work, bro. 100 times for one SSR ticket, bro. Dokkan did not like anybody, bro. Bro, they spam these things back to back, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you gotta win this 100 times." Nowadays, I only do World Tournament like 30 times. I'll get the 30 missions, and I'm out skis, bro. I do my 30 runs, get my 30 million points, and I'm out skis. But 100 wins, bro. You couldn't pay me to do 100 runs on World Tournament, bro. That's insane. Keep in mind, there's no stamina refill meat, so you had to spin a Dragonstone to refill. Yeah, it's not worth it. No guaranteed units per multi. Oh my gosh. So on top of the fact they spam back-to-back World Tournaments, then they're going to make you do 100 wins for one SSR ticket and not even a guaranteed S. Oh my gosh. Hey, yo, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, what's goody, bro? Guess who I pulled in a multi-summon? Let me guess. It was Tiberius. The World Tournament is not worth it. I mean, back then it didn't seem like it, but nowadays they kind of like streamlined it.
SSR ticket? Like, bro, What kind of sick joke is that? Like, I don't even know how many times I'll have to say that during the series, but they really didn't give a single back then. The next week, we got another strike character, Future Trunks. And if I'm not mistaken, this was the first strike unit to not have a key type leader skill. His leader skill just gave HP and attack to strength type units, which was probably seen by many as a downgrade, but he was a support type unit, so he was genuinely a very good filler option if you were starting the game and needed a good strength character or just a character to fill up one of your teams. Actually, now that I think about it, he actually was a decent option on strength Broly's team, since his team was pretty much kill or get killed. So a unit that could support Broly and fit under his leader skill was very useful. 4 days later, they dropped a new banner introducing some new characters from the Cooler movie. SSR Physical Super Saiyan Goku, SSR Int Middle Cooler, and SR Tech Super Saiyan Vegeta. The banner also featured some decent characters like the Tech Final Form Brothers, Strength Super Saiyan Goku, and AGL Kaioken Goku. The new Goku had the Strength Super Saiyan Bardock leader skill, an extreme damage multiplier.
Oh, you got the Fizz Godku? Congrats, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, congrats. The Despair back in the day trying to pull units. Yeah, bro, Dokkan did not like you guys, bro. Anybody who played back in the day, Dokkan did not like they did not like the player base, gang. That's a sick joke, bro. That's crazy.
And a mediocre passive. But what made this guy stand out was his 50% chance to stun the enemy for 2 turns and decent link set. And I guess the fact that the Super Saiyan Goku name was not as stacked as it used to be did help him. But yeah, nothing crazy and not a must summon by any means. Int Middle Cooler on the other hand was an absolute beast. He had the same leader skill as Interlist, so 2 key to all types. A supreme damage multiplier, and he was a support type unit giving 25% attack to all allies. So pretty much the more damage oriented version of Interlist. But the crazy part is that he could run both of them on each other team. So it was just a question of what do you want more of. More damage with another Middle Cooler leader or more key with another Interlist leader. But the crazy thing about this guy is that unlike Turles, who had a very niche link set, this guy had a link set that worked pretty well with every other Wicked Bloodline unit. And he also came with a whole new set of free-to-play Metal Coolers, who were all pretty decent. So if you were a new player, you could legit just pull this guy from the free-to-play Metal Coolers and run a very good team. But that's obviously on paper. Their grind was another story. But first we have to talk about the SR Vegeta. He was not great. Subpar leader skill, huge damage multiplier, and only 2 key to himself and above 80% HP. I guess his link set was decent, but that's pretty much it. Now, going back to the story event, it brought 6 new free-to-play units, a new Cyclopean Guard, and 5 new Metal Coolers. The new Cyclopean Guard was actually alright for an SR. He had our Hercule leader skill, but was actually a...
No, Salvador, we're just reacting to the first year of Dokkan. This is not these banners like this is years ago, gang. But we're just reacting to the reacting to the first year of Dokkan. Okay.
Support type unit, given a flat stat buff of 1000 defense to all allies, which made him a not so bad option against int type unit.
You said Dokkan shouldn't exist till now. If not 5th anniversary, that anniversary gave Dokkan the best money. 9th Annie was the highest grossing Annie. Really? 9th? I wonder why. Beast Gohan.
Or under one hand Spirit Bomb Goku leader skill if you really had no other options. Like, let's not forget the fact that this guy has 2 links. The Middle Coolers all had the same leader skill, give it 1 key to all types, a huge damage multiplier, and the same link set, but they all had different types and passive skills. AGL Metal Cooler gave 1 key to all allies when above 50% HP, so not a bad card.
Oh, so this is where the free-to-play Metal Cooler team, this is where they made their debut. Okay.
At all for a free-to-play unit. Tech Middle Cooler debuffed the enemy attack by 20%, so not bad, but probably the worst cooler out of the bunch. Int Middle Cooler recovered 5% HP at the start of turn, coupled with the Odo regeneration link. This was actually pretty decent and could add up really quickly. Strength Middle Cooler gave 10% attack and defense to all allies, so very good too. Physical Middle Cooler, well, he did recover 50% of the damage he dealt as HP. Like, that was insane considering the fact that the team was already hitting like crazy with the Odo regeneration link, and Int Middle Cooler passive skill. But their grind was tedious, like yeah, like very bad. You had to fight like a zillion metal coolers, and the coolers were dropped completely randomly, so you could be stuck with like a million copies of the tech metal cooler but none of the strength metal cooler. Like it really felt like you were in the movie.
Bro, what is it with Dokkan and these like weird ass rates, bro? Like didn't they just say like you pull like an infinite amount of these copies
but none
and
of
then
the strength metal
no of the extreme STR copies? Like what kind of fucking rates were these? Hey yo, Cool Otter, what's goody? Back then every card mattered. Bro, Dokkan hated the player base, bro. What were these rates, gang? Like what were these rates, bro? That's just goofy, bro. That's just goofy, man.
Cooler. Like it really felt like you were in the movie grinding these guys. So I'll give them that. And that's not even talking about the medals needed to awaken them into SSRs. The stage could drop at most 2 medals on the Z hard difficulty, but you needed like 50 of them to awaken all the coolers. So if you do the math, there was a probability that you had to run the event 50 times to awaken them all, which doesn't seem that bad now. Don't forget, at the time there's like no like auto mode, like the stamina bars are very small.
Damn, bro, no auto mode. No auto mode. What the helly? No auto mode. Can you believe that shit? No auto mode. No auto mode. What the fuck, bro?
I'm new, bro. I'm new to this.
Bro, no auto mode. What the helly, bro? Like, bro, it's over, bro. It's over, bro. Oh shit, bro. This is really the trenches back then, bro. Oh my gosh.
Since people are not like very high level and you don't beat the stage just when one super attack, you know. Like it takes some time to beat the stage. It's just now you can just pull out like LR Beast Gohan, LR Super Saiyan Gogeta, like LR Broly, they just one shot everything. Like back then it was a different time. But 3 days later they released another strike event, Int Android 16, and let me tell you, that guy was actually very useful.
Mr. Wright said you had to actually play the game. Was genuinely held trying to grind for some stuff back in the day. Legends are more generous. Dokkan was a constant war. Man, dude, it's like this is too much. It's too much grinding, bro. It's too much Dokkan. Like, no, please. It's too much.
Like everything about him sucked except for one thing, his passive skill. He had 50% damage reduction when his card was activated. This was insanely busted against tech type enemies. Like this guy was far and away the best tank in the game when his card was active, and this guy's value just kept going up with time. So like Devilman, it's not the last time you'll be hearing about him. The month of November started with a new Dokkan Fest, Tech Cell. He came with 4 new cards and 2 new Dokkan games. Tech Cell on release was good, but not great or as crazy as some of.
Hey, yo, not gonna lie, Tech Cell, his super easy A was insane. This guy, he had a really good super easy A. I'll give him that one. He had a banger of a super easy A. Dokkan back then was WW1 times 100. Bruh, that woo. Bruh, Dokkan wasn't playing, bro. They was putting belt to ass with y'all, bro. It's all this heavy grinding, this belt to ass. Oh my gosh.
But I'll get into that later in this video. He had the same leader skill as Strength Broly, but for tech types instead. This type was actually not bad. You had units like Vegito, Majin Vegeta, the Final Form Brothers, Super Saiyan Goku, and Super Saiyan Gohan. Nonetheless, he had a supreme damage multiplier and a Nuken passive, making him, if I'm not mistaken, the first ever Nuken unit with a supreme damage multiplier. So this guy was potentially the hardest hitting unit in the game. Incel Dokkan Awaken was actually very good. Like, he now had the best leader skill of his type, being 30% attack to all types, a supreme damage multiplier, 40% attack.
You said if Dokkan was 4K images, how much will it weigh? I mean, I feel like if Dokkan just went full like HD arts and like everything, bro, the game size would probably be like double what it is. So I think it's like 22 gigs. So it'd be probably like 44, almost 50 gigs. I remember I started to grind for him, but I got bored of grinding 25% in. Dokkan back then was like the father that came back with the milk and the belt. And for real, bro, it's like the, you know, like when the belt, when you like, you fold it, it's like, ka-choo, ka-choo. But belt to ass, buddy, belt to ass.
Second defense at the start of turn, and the same link set as Texel. He honestly might have
They said you gonna grind these units and you're gonna fucking like it, bro. You're gonna grind and you're gonna like it.
been better than his Dokkan West counterpart for a short period of time. Because yes, these guys share the same name, so they couldn't be run on the same team. AGL Cell on the other hand had a different name, but this guy just sucked, bro. Like, let's be honest, his only purpose was to just be a link battery for the other perfect cells. He shared 5 links with the 2 other perfect cells, so he was easily their best linking partner. Now, talking about the new banner units, they all came with a new mechanic called Weekend Regeneration, which is basically just a pay-to-win mechanic to help you beat Cell Dokkan event, just like Strength Broly and his Rampage ability. And talking about Broly, he was actually back on Cell's banner, so if you didn't already have him, every single banner this guy was featured on was a must summon. Like, you needed Broly just for the world.
Team Apocalypse, you're gonna leave for Asball Legends? Are you serious?
He was a unique named character with a decent link set and key support. Pretty much the AGL variant of Tex per Sensu His only drawback really was his extreme damage multiplier. The androids were both orb changers. Android 17 changed AGL key type orbs to Rainbow, and Android 18 changed Rainbow key spheres to In. So these two were definitely made to help Texel. Physical Super Trunks. He had the same leader skill as Strength % Bardock, an extreme damage multiplier, a 40% start of turn attack buff, and I guess a no killing set. Like, honestly, this guy was just mid. Like, he didn't bring anything new or special to the table. You're better off just running Strength Spirit Trunks since he had the better stats and a higher start of turn attack buff. He also had the Soul versus Soul link, which also weakened the regeneration at Cell's Dokkan event. So even in Cell's Dokkan event, you were better off with Strength Spirit Trunks. Now, talking about Cell's Dokkan event, as I said earlier, the farmable Cell was not great and nowhere near as good as the percent Broly that you could farm from Broly's Dokkan event. But on the bright side, Cell's actual Dokkan event was easier than Broly, simply because of the fact that you had more options. Every unit in the game that had the Soul versus Soul link now also we can sell regeneration. I think that maybe they realized it wasn't that great of an idea to make every Dokkan event.
Okay, yeah, you went from 10 damage to 12,000. Okay, okay.
But actually, now that you think about it, doesn't this reminds you of something? Like, isn't that how Legends used to work? Or actually, it might honestly still be like that. I haven't really kept up with the game in a long time, but I remember that when I used to play Dragon Ball Legends, you legit had to pull the new units to...
Bro, Asball Legends, bro. Asball Legends.
With the new PvE content every single celebration. Well, at least that's how I remember it. But you're probably wondering why I'm talking...
It's funny, bro. I played Dragon Ball Legends for like an hour and I deleted that shit. It just wasn't for me, bro. Like, I'm so used to Dokkan. Like, I'm with all like the tapping and then like the swiping. It's like, feels like I'm damn near playing fucking Fruit Ninja. You know what I mean? Just like Dragon Ball though, but it's not for me though. It's just not for me.
About Dragon Ball Legends, and it's because if you didn't know, Toshi, the current producer of Dragon Ball Legends, was actually the old producer of Dokkan. So I'm not saying he had something to do with it, but it is a little sus. And we know that he left somewhere around the 3rd year anniversary. And if you guys didn't know, Dokkan became extremely free-to-play friendly somewhere around that time. But enough said, we'll talk about that in due time. Within the same celebration, they actually updated the Friend Summon banner and added SR Tech Hercule into the pool. People had no idea that this guy would later down the line awaken into an LR. But he did have some use because he had...
You know what's crazy, bro? I still don't have this guy's LR. I'm too lazy to grind Hercule's LR, bro. Hey, yo, Obito315, what's goody, gang? What's goody? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, dude, this Hercule, I know you get him from like the friend point summons, but I'm too lazy to fucking farm his all the way to the LR. I'm too lazy, bro. I'm too lazy.
the Soul vs Soul Link at the time, so usable in Cell's Dokkan event if you had no other choice. The next week we got a new Strike event featuring none other than Piccolo, but funnily enough this guy was already obtainable before his Strike event. He was actually obtainable as a reward during the One Piece crossover campaign. Nonetheless, this guy was just the tech version of the Strike Strength Future Trunks. At the same time, they dropped a filler banner introducing Gotenks into the game. He had the same leader skill as Physical Ultimate Gohan or Interlist, had a supreme damage multiplier, a Nukin passive, and a decent.
So that guy was making Dokkan hard to play, then create legends and create a pay to win trashy game. Yeah, I mean, bro, Toshi, that's the guy, bro. Like when you're okay, let's go back a little bit. So let's see.
Your anniversary. And if you guys didn't know, Dokkan became extra in Zoo time, like Hercule and same stuff.
Wait, no, go back a little bit. So if you guys are wondering why Legends is a pay to win slot, bro, you thank Toshi, bro. He's the face behind Legends. Thank Toshi. You know what I'm saying? When you get shafted for like 30 or 50k CC, you could thank him, bro. You could thank him. Mr. Satan, goat of the year. I still never did the Ginyu Force free to play team. Yeah, it was cool. It helped out for a little bit.
We know that he can be well top and the line at the time sustainable. Nonetheless, time they dropped the 4 in. Honestly, not a bad card at all. And his banner was not bad as well. It featured Tech Vegito, Physical percent to Goku, Strength percent to Vegeta, and Strength Majru. 3 days later, they released another Strike event, this time featuring Tien. And bro, I honestly don't even have the words to explain how bad this guy was. Forget about the leader skill and huge damage multiplier. Just look at that passive, a rare chance of stunning all enemies. But do you actually know what that percentage is? It's 2%.
You know what's crazy, bro? Dokkan could never get away with dropping a character like this. Nowadays, Dokkan could not get away with dropping some shit like this. Like a rare chance of stunning all enemies. There's no way Dokkan would get away with this. There's no way, bro. If they dropped a character with a rare chance to stun all enemies, could you imagine, like, bro, the Reddit threads, Dokkan Twitter, it'd be in fucking shambles. Like, I'd be scared sometimes to open Dokkan Twitter after a controversial update. I'd be scared sometimes because, bro, there's a lot of strong opinions on there. Hey, yo, Cool Otter, what's goody, bro? What's goody?
2% chance of stunning all enemies for 1 turn. Like, bro, in Jacko, who came 7 months ago, had a 7% chance. So yeah, this guy was just horrible. A week later, there was a monthly world
another one. How many fucking world tournaments were they spamming back then, bro? Another one. Dude, what's with the world tournament boners, bro? They just can't stop, bro. It's like I'm pretty sure they're laughing up in the office, bro. They're like, oh, you know what? We got another world tournament, bro. Another one. Like, damn, bro. You get a world tournament. Here's a world tournament for everyone. Kuwata says you have a headache. Yeah, bro, I feel it, bro. A headache from all these damn world tournaments. Like, Dokkan cannot stop spamming these.
I wasn't joking when I said that there was going to be a new world tournament every single month moving forward. Nonetheless, this world tournament was the same as the previous one. With the new...
Matter of fact, we're actually due for a world tournament. Like, literally any day now. Like, well, when was the last one? Because I know they do a world tournament in, like, intervals of, like, 3 months. So, I mean, technically, we're due for another world tournament before, I want to say, TDC. Yeah, we're due for another world tournament, like, literally any day now.
Reward card being a Kaioken Goku. He could greatly stack attack on Super and had an orb change in passive skill. So it was clear as day now, the new meta was Nukin units. And to make it even clearer, they released a new banner alongside him, featuring 3 new Nukin leaders. AGL Golden Frieza, the AGL type Nukin leader, Tech Goku, the Tech type Nukin leader, and Physical Super Saiyan God Vegeta, the Physical type Nukin leader. They all gave 30% attack to their respective type per same type orb obtained.
When did Truth say they would post more info? I think we might be getting the character reveal tonight or tomorrow. So I think they dropped the teaser today. So they might be dropping the actual character details tonight or tomorrow, and then we'll see the Dokkan Fest in the next like day or two. So within the next like day or two, pretty much.
Honestly, that was something insane at the time. It pretty much just blew every single attack leader skill out of the water. Like legit now it was either you were running a Nuki leader skill or a K-type leader skills. Like what's the point of running anything else? AGL Golden Frieza, this guy was simply the best tank in the game. And for a very, very long time.
I remember this guy, dude. This guy, he was a crazy ass tank. This Golden Frieza, this guy was crazy. You know what I'm saying? The damage was, you know, whatever, but bro, him as a tank, bro, like in slot 1, he literally could not be killed. I'm pretty sure he would still hold up in some of today's content too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure he could hold up in some of today's content. That's how good he is. And I've also noticed that a lot of Golden Friezas usually follow after this. I mean, when was the last Golden Frieza we had? AGL LR Golden Frieza? Like, he was tanky. LR AGL Golden Frieza was dumb tanky. So I'm thinking with all these Golden Frieza characters, like they're making majority of them like tanky as hell. That's kind of seems like to be the theme. I don't know, man. I could be crazy, but I don't know.
Time. Like, bro, this guy is probably single-handedly the best agent unit of all time. He released in 2015 and I still use him to this day when I have the chance. Like, it's crazy. The blue boys on the other hand were not
he
like
is crazy.
crazy tanks, but orb changers, which was actually more fit into their role. And
so I see you like One Piece, good, the best anime. See, at least somebody agrees. Thank you, Obito. Thank you. So somebody agrees with me. You know, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Leader skill. And Tech Goku leader skill was a game changer for Texel. With his new Nukin leader and all the new orb changers, Texel was now far and away the hardest hidden unit in the game. This banner also came with some new filler SRs and Rs. There is nothing really to say about them except for one guy, Tech Jacko. I don't know if this guy is bugged or they just didn't care about.
This was the guy, brother. This was the guy. This was the guy, bro. It seems like all Jackos were like useful at some point, bro. It's like they're all useful to a degree.
About the wording, but this guy to this day has a 100% chance to stun all enemies once only on first appearance. This made him an insanely valuable unit for the World Tournament, and even in SBR or ESBR. It's actually thanks to this guy that I made my first ever Super Railroad stage. But we're getting ahead of time.
Let's talk about it. Yep.
The month ended with two new strike units, Skinny and Fat Goat tanks. They were both nukers and very good options if you pulled one of the new Nukin leader, especially Fat Gotenks, who was crazy on physical sprint.
You said Tech LR Golden Frieza was the most recent. That's true. I forgot about that. I did forget about that.
Conflict testing. The month of December started with a new Dokkan Fest, Kid Buu. This guy was
what do you know, bro? Dokkan Fest Kid Buu. What do you know?
50% attack and defense to all allies when above 80% HP. Like, bro, when you think about it, this buff is still good to this day. So just imagine how crazy it was at the time. His leader skill was also not bad because of how it worked. When you were above 50% HP, it gave 50% attacks to all allies, and when you were below 50% HP, it gave an attack buff equal to your current HP. So for example, if you had like 26% HP, the attack buff would be 26% attack. So he was now by far and away the new best attack to all types leader. His only downside really was his link set and maybe being low HP, but it wasn't something likely to happen if you were running him alongside other Buu units. AGL Kid Buu on the other hand was okay, I guess. Like, if you didn't have physical Kid Buu, he was a
You know what's funny, man? They were spamming this guy like crazy back in the day. They're spamming him like crazy, but we still don't have an LR 11 years later. I think that's absurd. They're dropping Kid Boos like it was fucking pancakes at IHOP, man, and now we have to. It's like an arm and a leg to even get an LR Kid Buu. That Kid Buu Subrizier is still nice, yes, and if they're going to release it, it should have original art. Yeah, man, the first ever LR Kid Buu when he drops, man, it's got to be like a fucking spectacle. I'm expecting nothing less of like top 3, bro. He's got to be. Like they owe it to this guy. They owe it to him. Toshi would have dropped LR Kid Buu. You think so? You think so, Devil Yami? You think so? Though the one redeeming quality just drops an LR Kid Buu. They were spamming Kid Buu, but where's the LR? 11 years later, we're still waiting.
decent option. They had the same link set and super attack multiplier, just different passives and leader skills. Kid Buu healed on his passive and his leader skill was just HP. Fun fact, but his team was the first team to break 100k HP. Couple that with his healing and yeah, this team was very tanky. But like I already said, what's the point if you don't do any damage? The fights are just going to last like forever. The free to play Buu that came with his Dokkan event was not great. I guess if you didn't have the summonable tech super Buu, you could use him as a filler unit, but otherwise you were better off just using this guy to raise the spread attack of the summonable super Buu, who was better in every way. Kid Buu also came with 2 new SSRs and 2 new SRs. They all had this new pay to win mechanic where they could heal 5000 HP per candy obtained, which helped tremendously against Kid Buu's Dokkan event. In Vegeta was an in-type Nukin type unit, but there was no in-type Nukin leaders at the time, so he wasn't very useful. And him being int also meant that there was no way in hell you were running this guy against Kid Buu, because Kid Buu was physical. Strength Goku on the other hand was very good against Kid Buu, and unlike Vegeta had a supreme damage multiplier. And bro, now that I think about it, they really shafted Vegeta hard. Not only was he int, but he also had an extreme...
Hey yo, Big Head 092, thank you for that follow, appreciate it. You said Toshi would have made it LR Kid Buu ass, bruh. Toshi is pure ass. Look at Legends, it's ass. I agree, bro. Ass ball Legends. He dropped the Ultra Kid Buu, so I think Toshi would have done it. Like Omatsu, Geppy, dude, it falls on Geppy now. Geppy, he has to be the guy who drops the LR Kid Buu. I think honestly, so when I think why Omatsu never dropped him was because I think Geppy, I have a little bit of a theory, bro. Geppy, I think, is gonna be the one who drops the LR Kid Buu under his reign, and he's gonna take all the credit as being one of the greatest producers ever, bro. Just for dropping the LR Kid Buu. I can already see it right now, bro. Yeah, Wizard, we're still there. We're almost done though. We're almost done. We got like 8 more minutes. Geppy got to be the GOAT with the Kid Buu. Now he'll be the GOAT if he's good. If Kid Buu's like undisputed #1 in the game, that's when Geppy will be the GOAT, and everybody will be like, dude, Geppy, oh my gosh, he's better than Omatsu, best producer ever. LR Kid Buu. You know what I mean? Like, bro, if LR Kid Buu is ass under Geppy's reign, bro, they're never gonna let him live that one down, bro. That'd be crazy. He's not beating the AGL and INT's UI Goku and Vegeta. Geppy got to be the GOAT with the Kid Buu. I pray for LR Kid Buu. We're all praying for Kid Buu, guys. We're all praying for the LR.
Damage multiplier. Like, bro. Anyways, Strength Goku, even though very good against Kid Buu, but just like Vegeta, there was no strength type Yuki leader to really make like the best out of him. SR Oob was, I guess, a nice healer on like a tech type Nukin team. 1500 HP per tech type orb obtained is nothing to laugh at, especially when you combine that with the already existing same type orb healing. SR Krillin on the other hand was just a worse version of Int Vegeta, so pretty much worthless. 2 weeks later, they released a new strike event featuring Kibito. He did support on Super and recover HP on his passive, but nothing really that good. I'm honestly surprised they discontinued his strike event and not the SRTN1, who was like a way worse unit. At the same time, they also released new Baba Shop SSRs. Agel's % Goku, who was a support type unit, so pretty good. Tech Piccolo, who was a very good tank when facing an Agel type enemy. And Strengths % Gohan, who was like an...
You know, I'm not gonna lie. You said if LR Kid Buu is bad, we storm Dokkan HQ. Like, no bullshit. I think when the details, I'm telling you right now, when the details drop and it says new LR Kid Buu, and people look at the details of his kit and he's ass, bro, I I think people will deadass quit the game. I'm telling you, if they drop LR Kid Buu and they see if he has like an ass kit, and he does, people are genuinely gonna quit the game. I'm not even playing. Like, some people on Twitter were ready to quit because of the fucking because of, I guess, like the limited time content, right? They're gonna quit from limited time content. But if they dropped an LR Kid Buu and he's ass, bro, people are dead ass gonna quit the game. Like this game is gonna go down as one of the worst gacha games in history if they drop a mid to low tiers like fucking sub 5 LR Kid Buu. You know what I mean? It's gonna be bro, that's gonna be talked about in like every hot takes thread. Like Dokkan's never gonna live that down, bro. I can already see it. Like, can you imagine, like, bro, think about your like well, what's the shit called? Your adrenaline's pumping, like you see in the notification, like LR Kid Buu, you're like, dude, LR Kid Buu, click. You're reading the details and it's fucking trash. Bro, oh man, dude, that's gonna be a spectacle. What are we watching, Mr. Levi? We're reacting to the first year of Dokkan. I mean, you came mad late, but we're reacting to the first year of Dokkan. They're gonna meme the hell out of a bad Kid Buu. I dead ass. I'm pretty sure if the Kid Buu is ass, they're gonna meme that character more than the We Saiyans Have No Limits. Like that, a horrible LR Kid Buu is gonna go down as one of the most memed characters in the history of this game. Like you would think, man, that would be a scary day, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like the We Saiyans Have No Limits, that's gonna be put to the back burner, bro. Like, damn. This is gonna be the second Raditz. I hope not. That'd be crazy. Like, okay, imagine this. Imagine if they on April Fools. Imagine they drop an April Fools like notification for Kid Buu. And he's fucking ass, bro. But it's a April Fool's joke, and then they just drop the real LR Kid Buu, and he's like the god of Dokkan, bro. That would send the community in shambles. Hey, LRT Chrome, thank you for sharing the live stream, gang. Thank you for that follow, bro. If Dokkan has any real cojones, bro, they do that for an April Fool's joke. Drop details for a LR Kid Buu, and he's just straight up fucking ass. And then like a day later or like the same day, just drop the details for like the real LR Kid Buu. Bro, that would be a spectacle.
Okay, damage dealer if you need like a filler unit in your strength team, or just didn't have his summonable variant.
Said need LR Buuhan that has the aura of Int Leader Buuhan. Facts. When's the Dokkan Fest dropping? I do think the Dokkan Fest we might see the character revealed tonight or tomorrow. Well, one of the two.
And all those new units were free-to-play units, and even though there was no potential system, their stats were clearly lower than those of summonable units. But they did have the ability.
You said, imagine if LR Kid Buu is a free-to-play LR. So, Almighty Fox, you know how... So, when they dropped the Dokkan Frontiers Namek Saga Goku, do you know how bad they raged on that character? And he's only been out for like, what, a week? Did you see the outrage people had for this Dokkan Frontiers Goku? Oh my gosh, bro! Like they're tearing the internet a new one. Imagine free to play Kid Buu, dude. I'm genuinely scared. I would be genuinely scared to open up the internet, bro. I have 1,800 stones saved up. Okay, Romeo, there you go, gang. I hate Fizz got a Goku because back when his banner came out, I pulled Fizz Raditz 5 times. Wait, Raditz was on that banner? I didn't know that. I forgot.
Super attack at 9 key instead of 12, which was actually pretty decent if you're a new player or in the world tournament where you were only able to have one key leader. But yeah, other than that, they weren't really anything special and definitely not a replacement to their summonable counterparts. Except for maybe Piccolo, who was better than his summonable counterpart against AGL type units. The next day we got a new filler banner featuring a new Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan. And this guy was honestly not bad. He had a decent leader skill, a supreme damage multiplier, gave a flat stat buff of 2000 attacks.
4,500 stones? Damn, bro, I see you.
Like, honestly, this guy was
4,500 stones? That's way more than what I got.
Version of Int Middle Cooler. His banner was also not bad. It featured Strength per Sentry Goku, HGL per Vegeta, Physical per Trunks, Strength Goten, Physical per Sent Goku, and HGL per Sensu Gohan. 3 days later, we got another world tournament.
Bro, another one? Damn! How many world tournaments are they gonna spam in 1 year? What? I'm gonna be honest, bro. This is getting ridiculous at this point. Another world tournament. AOZ, what's goody? Another world tournament? Damn, bro. Like they just cannot stop spamming these motherfuckers, bro. Another world tournament? That's unreal, bro. This is unreal. Another world tournament? That's fucking crazy.
Again, bro. Again, just pure pain. But I guess on the bright side, they did buff the top ranking rewards and made the missions less painful. Like, you only did now 80 wins instead of a...
Hey, there you go, bro. 20 less wins. 20 less wins. There you go. It went from 100 wins to 80. Not, hey, bro, it's Dokkan, bro. They're learning. They're learning, okay? They're learning. I wanted that world tournament go into Goku for the longest. They really thought we loved it. I told you, bro, that's why we all hate world tournaments. It was spamming these shits like crazy. Oh my gosh.
100 for the free SSR ticket. Like, bro, just I don't have words to just describe how ridiculous that is, bro. At the time I'm recording this video, we're literally in the middle of a world tournament, and bro, I did my 22 wins, bro, got my 2 SSR tickets, then bro, that's it. Like, bro, there's no point to play more of this event just for like some guys, or like even the 3 storms are not worth it, bro. Just but this event is just too much, bro. It's too much. I guess the reward card this world tournament was cool. That armor just looks so good. That's why Self-Saga was peak, bro. But yeah, whatever. He gave 2 key to tech and int type units, so he was like the int version of Tech's percent Goku. But you know what's funny? Like, I kept talking about those reward cards like they were easy to get and everyone had a chance to at least get 1 copy, but I'm forgetting the fact that you need to be in the top 5,000 players to just get 1 copy. Like, bro, those cards don't even matter at this point. This event is just trash, bro. It's just so bad. You need to be in the top 5,000 players for 1 copy, bro. Like, that's ridiculous, bro. That's just ridiculous. Anyways, 2 days later, they dropped...
You know, I'm gonna speak on something real quick. I couldn't imagine... So, you know, in like World Tournament today, like, let's say you do World Tournament as soon as it drops, right? You're spamming as many runs as you can. You know what I'm saying? You stop, you go to bed, you wake up. Like, you're number 1 before you went to bed. You wake up, bro, you're like damn near bottom of the leaderboards again. I hate that. You went from number 1 before you went to bed, and now you're like ranked number like 7 or 8, bro. It's like, what the hell? Like, who's up grinding this when I'm asleep, bro? Like, seriously.
Like a very random banner with 4 completely unrelated new SSRs. AGL Full Power Bojack was pretty much just Strength SR Bojack, but AGL with like slightly better stats. So yeah, nothing very good and worth going over. Fusion Android 13 had like a very interesting leader skill, I guess, like pretty much the int version of physical one-hand Spirit Bomb Goku. He also was a Rainbow Orb Changer, but yeah, that's but yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to say about him yet. Like, trust me, this guy became very useful in the future. Strength's percent God Goku was pretty much the strength version of AGL's percent God Goku. Supreme damage multiplier coupled with an insane attack buff on super attack. This guy was hitting very hard. Obviously not as hard as a nuker, but way more consistent. He also, like AGL God Goku, had a very good link set that only became bad.
Hey yo, little TYT, what's goody, bro? What's goody? Those banners, art styles were sick. What happened? It's plain. I mean, some would say simplicity is best, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
With time. Physical Super Saiyan Bardock was insane to say the least. This guy was legit just the super class version of Turles, but with a better link set and sealing instead of stunning on super. So yeah, this banner was worth summoning on just for this guy. 6 days later, they released the first few stages of...
Dude, fuck this event, bro. Fuck this event. This event has one of the worst drop rates I think I've in history, bro. Fuck this event, bro. I hated grinding this.
The Hero Extermination Plan event. It brought 3 new units who were honestly just trash and not worth going over. At the end of the month, we got another Dokkan Fest, AGL's percent Goku. This guy's banner dropped on New Year's Eve and it had 1 discounted multi, so it's safe to assume that this was the first ever New Year's banner. We'll talk about the featured units later, but let me tell you, this guy's banner was pretty damn good. And yeah, this guy was insane. He was...
Oh, this is the one that's super easy. He was the first ever super easy A. Or no, I think he was the first ever easy A and the first super easy A. Oh, okay. Not playing Dokkan today? No, we're just reacting to the first year of Dokkan.
by far the most consistent hard-hitting unit in the game. Unlike nukers, this guy's damage was just so free. His passive gave him 100% attack for 7 turns. And you couple that with the fact that this guy had over and a flash link, yeah, it was pretty much impossible to miss a super with this guy on his team or under Bardock's leader skill. Also, this guy was a game changer for Broly's Dokkan event, which was actually still seen by many as the hardest event at the time, which is understandable when you take into account the fact that you needed one of the 4 new units to have a chance of beating it. But Goku being AGL and a very hard hitter meant that you could pretty much brute force your way past Broly's Rampage ability. Nonetheless, Super Saiyan 3 Goku came with 2 new Dokkan Awakenings. Strength Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who was insane, like he was pretty much just a slightly worse version of AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So yeah, as I said, insanely good if you didn't pull the new Dokkan Fest. Tech Super Saiyan Angel Goku was, I guess, not bad for a free-to-play unit. Like, his name was unique, he had an extreme damage multiplier, which was actually not bad for a free-to-play unit, a decent link set, and a 2% chance of raising his attack by 180%, which was very rare, but when it happened, it was just so satisfying. If you know, you know, bro. AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku banner featured 3 new characters. Tech Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. He had a decent leader skill, a supreme damage multiplier, a 70% attack buff and above 50% HP, and a decent link set. This guy could have been AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku best linking partner. They shared 4 links together, but the problem is that this guy didn't have over and a flash, and over and a flash was like an absolute must. So yeah, yet again, another Vegeta's shaft. Tech Super Saiyan Goten was a rain.
So I guess technically this Super Saiyan 3 Goku is the first New Year's banner, I guess. AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku was genuinely a crazy era. First year was fire for me. What's the topic? This is talking about like the first year of Dokkan before the first anniversary. Pretty interesting stuff, I'm not gonna lie.
Orb changer and tech, so you know what that means. He was an absolute must on Cell's nuking team and really helped him a lot. Like like finally a rainbow orb changer who was tech. So yeah, this guy could change orbs to rainbow, and then Super Saiyan Goku could change those rainbow orbs to tech. So yeah, a very powerful combo. In Super Saiyan Kid Trunks was a key support type unit, giving 2 Kitsu int and tech type units. Like, not a bad unit, but just not as impactful as Tech Super Saiyan Goten. Super Saiyan 3 Goku's banner was also not bad. Alongside the new units, it featured Strength Broly. This guy was like a must summon if you didn't already have.
Oh, hold on, bro. Wait, bro, what? So it had this guy and it had the Broly? Oh shit. Okay, hold on, bro. That's actually that's a solid banner right there. Okay. Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that.
New units, it featured Strength Broly. This guy was like a must summon if you didn't already have him. Like, I know he was featured on like pretty much every single Dokkan Fest banner after his release, but still, this guy was just so valuable. Like, Strength Broly might have been like the most valuable Dokkan Fest at the time. Like, just the value that this guy provided for the World Tournament, that was a monthly event at the time, was just like, I can't even describe how valuable that was. Anyways, it also had Tech Cell, Strength Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Oh shit, it even had Tech Cell on there? Damn. Bro, what kind of fucking banner was this? Hold on, bro. And it had Tech Cell? Holy shit.
This guy was just so valuable. Was like,
wait, so you had Super Saiyan 3 Goku,
him. Like, I know
STR Broly,
at the time. Also Vegeta and Tech Super Buu. Like,
and you had Tech Cell? Holy shit, bro, okay.
Anyways, it also had Tech Cell, Strength Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Tech Vegito, Physical Super Saiyan Gohan, Tech Majin Vegeta, and Tech Super Buu. Like, honestly, that banner was pretty stacked to say the least, and one of the best banners we had seen yet. As for Super Saiyan 3 Goku's Dokkan event, if you had pulled Cell and Tech Blue Goku, that event was actually pretty easy. All you had to do was survive the first phase and then nuke Super Saiyan 3 Goku with items in the second phase. On the other hand, if you couldn't nuke Super Saiyan 3 Goku, this event was very hard. But probably still easier than previous Dokkan events, since there was no new pay to win mechanic this time. Like, sure, the event was almost impossible to beat without Cell, but you could use a friend Cell and get by with some luck and a decent tech team. Anyways guys, this is the end of the video. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Well, that seems to be the end. Yeah, but crazy stuff, bro. Dokkan is wow, bro. I listen, I feel for a lot of the day one players, like the OG players, man, because they was putting y'all through the fucking mattress, bro, with all these crazy, like this the Broly event, like spamming like 90,000 world tournaments in a year. The banners, the raids is wow, crazy work, bro, crazy. So I remember when Broly units were the only units that attacked everyone. Now every character has AoE supers. The second year of Dokkan was wild. Can't wait till you watch year 3. Yeah, guys. I mean, we're gonna be going through these pretty much damn near like every day. So you know what I'm saying, it's more content for your boy, more content for the channel, more content for you guys. So yeah, you know, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the live stream. Again, be sure to subscribe to Plouf, bro. Like he really came through with these videos. Be sure to subscribe to the boy. I'm gonna also be linking his video in my when I drop my video. I'm gonna be linking his as well. So yeah, what was it? What was World Tournament like without the AoE characters? I know it's pure suffering for them OGs. Yeah, man, crazy, bro, crazy. Yeah, like I said, bro, like I already don't like doing World Tournament. Like I definitely wouldn't have liked it back then. Have a good rest of your night, bro. W stream, great first impression. Hey, LRT Chrome, thank you for coming through to the stream. Appreciate you guys for being here. And like I said, if you guys like the content, shoot your boy a follow. We on the road to 10K on TikTok. On YouTube, drop a sub if you like the content. We on the road to 1,000 subs. On Twitch, we on the road to 300 followers. So like I said, if you guys like the content, support your boy. Really would appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for the second year of Dokkan, bro. So we'll definitely be back reacting to that. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Have a nice night, everyone. Tell your family you love them. Don't do anything stupid. Be smart. Make good choices. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Adios, amigos. It's been real. It's been real.